Chapter 46:11. Endless cracks appeared on the ground, and the palaces were destroyed. This scene alarmed the people in the mansion. Who dared to behave so atrociously here? One figure after another rose into the air. When they saw that it was Lin Xian, their faces changed instantly. "It's you. You're not dead?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. "So, it seems like you guys did it. Since that's the case, you guys can go to hell." With a wave of his hand, the demonic beasts that covered the sky charged forward. "You're courting death. Kid, do you know what this place is? This is not a place where you can behave atrociously." These people were furious. They were the Grotto Heavens, the overlords of a region. How could a young man attack them? With a roar, the other people also shouted angrily and charged over. Although they didn't have as many demonic beasts as the other party, this was their territory, and they had countless arrays. Suddenly, a few killing arrays were activated, and a terrifying force swept out, fighting against the demonic beasts. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and his golden eyes shone brightly. The great spear of destruction shot down like a black dragon, and instantly shattered a killing array. Damn it, who is this person? How could he find the flaw in their array so easily? These people were terrified. Lin Xian attacked again. With his array skills and the power of the great spear of destruction, it was easy for him to destroy the array. In the blink of an eye, another 3 arrays were destroyed. The pressure on the demonic beasts was also reduced. They roared and began to attack wildly. Many people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven died, and their bodies turned into a bloody mist. The front seemed to have turned into Azura hell. Damn it! The people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven went crazy and retreated quickly. Many elders shouted angrily. At this moment, a cold snort sounded between heaven and earth. "Ants, how dare you behave atrociously here? Go to hell." Between heaven and earth, the void cracked, and a thunderbolt shot out. This was the power of a peak sage king. Xiaomu snorted and waved his hand, blocking the thunderbolt. He stood beside Lin Xian. At the same time, the terrifying heavenly soul voice shot into the void. Above him, the laws swept out, and a figure descended. It was a middle-aged man. His face was cold and murderous as he stared at Xiaomu. The other party's soul terrified him. At the same time, he looked at Lin Xian and Elder Bai and said through gritted teeth, "Bai Yuan, do your White Cloud Grotto want to die?" Bai Yuan was on the verge of tears. He was only leading the way. How could he have imagined that Lin Xian would be so crazy as to directly attack someone in the other party's territory? At this moment, he could only brace himself and say that this was a misunderstanding. This was not the intention of the White Cloud Grotto. Previously, someone attacked young Master Qing. Young Master Qing thought that it was you guys, so he came. Lin Xian sneered. There was no need to explain to him. It was the doing of the Purple Spirit Paradise. The peak stage Saint King in the sky was also enraged. Precepts swept out from his body as he gritted his teeth. Since he was here, he might as well stay here forever. He slammed his palm downward. While Xiaomu was fighting against Elder Bai could also feel his blood boiling. He was also furious. "How dare you? This is an important guest of the White Cloud Grotto. Try to understand him." Now, he was full of admiration for Lin Xian. He was still hoping that Lin Xian would give him some demonic beasts to increase his strength. Therefore, he was also furious. Moreover, he now felt that it was the Purple Spirit Paradise who had done this. "Bai Yuan, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. I won't let anyone who came in today go." Elder Bai was also furious. He told the people around him to not hold back and to attack quickly. The experts of the White Cloud Grotto beside him were also furious and quickly attacked. Although there were not many of them, they would not sit still and wait for their deaths. Lin Xian's voice was even colder. "Since you want to kill me, you can all go to hell." He activated the terrifying seal of life and death. The demonic beasts under his control instantly had their eyes turn red and their aura became violent. Some of them even burned their bloodline. Kill. These demonic beasts simply did not care about their lives. They did not dodge the attacks at all. How could those from the Grotto Heavens be a match for them? Therefore, many young disciples died instantly. "You're courting death." 3 elders charged into the horde of demonic beasts while Lin Xian, activated the seal of life and death. Two demonic beasts suddenly burst open and instantly enveloped the three elders. The three elders went crazy. They did not expect Lin Xian to be so decisive and directly sacrifice the demonic beasts. The three of them were scared out of their wits and wanted to escape. However, they were eventually enveloped by the power and turned into a bloody mist. Damn it! The eyes of those from the Xiling Grotto turned red. Kill! Kill that kid! Many people charged towards Lin Xian. Under Lin Xian's feet, the three-eyed vermilion bird crawled and unleashed a terrifying flame. The phantom of the vermilion bird swept in all directions. Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear in his hand and swung it around. At the same time, he used his eye technique and attacked with his soul. Those people fell from the sky. He was like a god of death, attacking aggressively. Wherever he passed, no one could stop him. The demonic beasts were even more violent and pierced through the palaces. The sky was shattered and the earth was split open. It was a scene of destruction. The battle here naturally attracted the attention of the Moonshine City. Countless people rushed over. When they saw that it was the residents of Xiling Heaven, they were stunned. Someone was attacking the Xiling Grotto. Who was so strong? There were many families and sects in the Moonshine City, but the most powerful ones were the 6 Grotto Heavens. No one dared to provoke them here. Now, the attack on the Xiling Grotto made them feel as if they were dreaming. Use the sacred weapon. A peak elder rushed to the ground and opened the seal. Suddenly, a terrifying aura burst out. It was a black sacred sword that was extremely terrifying. When it appeared, it cut through the sky. The flames unleashed by the vermilion bird were extinguished, and the black holy sword charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian dodged quickly. He rushed to the young people of the Xiling Grotto and attacked. The Great Destruction Spear pierced through more than 10 figures. No one was his match. Damn it! The experts of the Xiling Grotto were furious. They held the black sacred sword in their hands, but they did not dare to attack. They were afraid that they would hurt their own people. Kid, come out if you have the guts. Lin Xian sneered. You've lived for thousands of years. You want me to come out with a peak sacred weapon? Are you out of your mind? Today, I'll let you see with your own eyes the fall of your disciples. Lin Xian slapped out again, and the two of them turned into blood mist. Damn it! The elder rushed down with the sacred sword. At this time, Xiaomu roared. Do you really think that I'm not here? He took out a jade flute. It was a red jade flute with a dangerous aura. He used it now. It was the Song of Illusion. The three-eyed vermilion bird roared to the sky, and the blood in its body burned. On the other side, a strange golden fish rushed over with the seawater on its head. The two peak demonic beasts had gone crazy. Chapter 46:12. They were burning their lives. The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven were shocked. They did not dare to burn their lives, but the beasts did. Beasts could be replaced, but if they lost their lives, they could not be replaced. Therefore, they could only roar. Stop, we won't fight anymore. The black sacred sword stopped. The peak elders of Xiling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth and said, Let them go. Hearing this, the two beasts stopped burning their blood. They calmed down again. Groups of beasts stood in the air, full of killing intent. Lin Xian said coldly, How dare you send assassins to assassinate me? I will remember you. Xiling Grotto Heaven, I will make you regret it. The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven were also going crazy. Kid, don't be too proud. We will let you go this time, but next time, we will destroy your soul. Xiaomu said, Young master, it's about time. With our current strength, we can't completely destroy them. Lin Xian nodded, indicating that he understood. If he brought more people, it might be possible. But now was not the time. Besides, there was no need to completely destroy Xiling Grotto Heaven. This time, he was just venting his anger. Now that he had vented enough, it was time to stop. He waved his hand and said, Let's go. The beasts in the air went back into the beast pouch. Lin Xian and the rest turned and left. Was the battle over? The people in the distance were quietly investigating. When they saw the mansion in front of them, they almost fainted. At this moment, the mansion in Xiling Grotto Heaven was in ruins. Not a single building was intact. The ground was completely cracked. The sky and surroundings were filled with sacred blood. Many beasts' corpses were piled up into mountains. However, most of the people of Xiling Grotto Heaven had died. Those people did not even have bodies. They turned into a bloody mist and circled around the sky. It was too terrifying. Elder Bai was dumbfounded. He did not even know how he returned to the mansion. After returning, the news spread. The people of White Cloud Grotto Heaven were shocked. Such a thing happened. Not good. They quickly reported it. They were worried that Xiling Grotto Heaven would come for revenge. They activated the ultimate formation. The people outside were all summoned back by them. At the same time, they requested a group of experts to come and help. The people of other Grotto Heavens were also shocked. This beast tamer was too arrogant. Some Grotto Heavens said that they could not afford to offend the other party. There were also people who sneered. It seemed like the Violet Spirit Paradise would not let this matter rest. How were they going to deal with this? The White Cloud Mansion was naturally nervous. In the past few days, they had begun to deploy their troops. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Don't worry, the demonic beasts that I have arranged for you have already been activated. These demonic beasts are extremely terrifying. Their defense and attack are unparalleled. It won't be a problem. As long as they dared to come, they would die without a burial ground." Hearing this, the people of the White Cloud Mansion heaved a sigh of relief. Indeed, with the protection of the 5 great plant-type demonic beasts, their defense was much stronger than before. Therefore, they were all relieved. About 10 days later, boundless spatial fluctuations suddenly appeared, and the entire sky turned violet. It was as if violet clouds were pressing down on the city. The White Cloud Mansion was shaking violently. The surrounding void was shattering continuously. The people inside were startled at the first instance. Not good, the enemy is here. One by one, experts rushed out of the palaces and pavilions and looked up at the sky. Some of them gritted their teeth. They were the people of the Violet Spirit Paradise. Elder Bai also came out. He shouted coldly, "Violet Spirit Paradise, do you want to attack my White Cloud Mansion?" In the sky, purple clouds filled the air, and figures appeared one after another. One of the old men shouted coldly, "What are you afraid now? When you went to the Violet Spirit Paradise and behaved atrociously, did you think that this day would come? Be obedient and hand over that kid, and we can let you live. You destroyed our Violet Spirit Paradise, so there is no need for your White Cloud Mansion to exist." These people not only wanted to kill Lin Xian, but also wanted to destroy their mansion in the Moonshine City. How could the people of the White Cloud Cave tolerate this? This time, Elder Bai did not need to say anything. The other elders were also furious. You still want to resist? Then do it. In the sky, purple lightning struck down, covering the entire area. The lightning was extremely terrifying, piercing through everything. In an instant, the ground below cracked, and the palaces collapsed. Some of the White Cloud Cave experts were also split in half. Damn it! How dare you attack? Attack! The White Cloud Cave experts also counterattacked, and at the same time, they activated the array. The Dharma in the sky swept out, facing the purple lightning. A great battle broke out in an instant. A terrifying aura shook the entire Moonshine City. The entire Moonshine City shook violently. Countless people were shocked. What was happening now? They saw lightning in the distance, and it was a scene of destruction. No way, there was another great battle. This time, it was from the direction of the White Cloud Mansion. Someone was attacking the White Cloud Cave. It must be the people of the Violet Spirit Paradise. They were going to take revenge. Let's go and take a look. One figure after another quickly flew in that direction. Of course, they did not dare to get close. They watched from afar, because the aura in front was too terrifying. The entire White Cloud Mansion was shrouded in a sea of lightning. In a palace, Lin Xian opened his eyes. Are they here? Lone Moon looked at them. He frowned slightly. The battle is about to reach us. Should we go out and help? Lin Xian said. Now is not the time. Let's wait until the White Cloud Cave can't hold on any longer. Outside, lightning was everywhere. But inside the palace, Lin Xian and the other two were relaxed. They even chatted and drank spirit tea. The The people of the White Cloud Mansion did not ask for Lin Xian's help. In their opinion, this was their territory, and they could definitely hold on. But they had underestimated them. After Purple Spirit Grotto had suffered a loss the last time, they had transferred a lot of experts this time. Their strength was much more formidable than they had imagined. Not long after, 3 late-stage Sage King Elders fell. The people of the White Cloud Cave were furious. Furthermore, many of the younger disciples had also turned into a bloody mist. Damn it, if the battle continued, their mansion in the Moonshine City would be destroyed. Elder Bai gritted his teeth. I'll ask young master for help. He quickly descended and came to the front of a palace. He said anxiously, Young master, are you there? Please help. We can't hold on any longer. The door of the palace opened. Lin Xian walked out and said, What's going on? Are those people attacking again? Don't worry. I'll help you. Next, I'll activate the 5 peerless demonic beasts. Elder Bai heaved a sigh of relief. Thank you, young master. Lin Xian took a step forward. His eyes shone with a terrifying light. Seal of life and death. The ground cracked. In 5 directions of the mansion, an extremely terrifying aura spread out, sweeping across the 9 heavens. The aura of these demonic beasts were connected, completely enveloping the entire White Cloud Mansion. Chapter 46:13. A stalk of fire kept dancing, as if it had turned into a divine fire, sweeping across the land. Several strong cultivators from the Xiling Grotto heaven were hit in an instant, and their bodies immediately split open. On the other side, a black demonic flower shot out terrifying black water, which had a strong corrosive effect. One of the elders didn't manage to dodge in time, and was instantly turned into a bloody mist. More than a dozen young disciples also disappeared into thin air. Damn it, what kind of demonic beast was this? How could it be so terrifying? The people from the Xiling Grotto heaven were stunned, and so were the people from the White Cloud Grotto heaven. This was great. The young master had made a move, and these demonic beasts had all been revived. Other than these 2 demonic beasts, there were 3 other demonic beasts, and these 5 demonic beasts were all at the peak of the Saint King realm. More importantly, they each had the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. When they worked together, it was really terrifying. When the 5 demonic beasts attacked, it took 9 days. The strong cultivators from the Xiling Grotto heaven kept falling, forming a scene of destruction. Retreat quickly. The people from the White Cloud Grotto heaven had been warned by Elder Bai and had already retreated in advance. They looked at the scene in front of them and were extremely shocked. They felt their hair stand on end. Elder Bai's scalp was also numb. Fortunately, Lin Xian was their friend. Otherwise, they would be dead if they faced such demonic beasts. Lone Moon, who was beside him, was also shocked. These 5 peak demonic beasts could be controlled by Lin Xian. It was really incredible. Although Xiaomu played a large part in the process of suppressing and controlling the demonic beasts, Lin Xian only used the seal of life and death at the end. But now, he was controlling 5 demonic beasts. How much spiritual power and control did he have to be able to do this? Looking at the other party's shining golden eyes, Gu Guyue did not dare to imagine that this person's talent and strength were definitely far beyond theirs. Even Xiaomu was surprised. Lin Xian was still so young, but he was already so powerful. It would not be a problem for him to surpass him in the future. He might even surpass everything. Perhaps he could use a pair of magical eyes to control a supreme demon saint. Everyone saw this scene, and they had a deeper understanding of Lin Xian's talent. The elders of the White Cloud Wonderland were extremely excited. Such a genius beast tamer must become their friend. No matter what the cost, as long as they could keep Lin Xian by their side, their White Cloud Cave would become even more powerful in the future. At that time, they would be able to surpass the other caves. Those young disciples felt their blood run cold. Fortunately, they had run fast enough. Otherwise, they would have already died inside. Some of their companions did not manage to escape in time and were torn to pieces by the 5 demonic beasts. Those elders also felt heartache. Although it was hard for them to lose a few disciples, and perhaps this mansion would also vanish into thin air. But so what? To be able to befriend a genius was extremely worth it. Lin Xian's value was more important than anything else. Demonic chi permeated the area ahead, and the terrifying might of the laws gradually subsided. Those demonic beasts stopped attacking and quieted down. The shattered space in front of them was quickly mending. Everyone looked ahead. Are there any survivors? In the next moment, they all gasped because not many people were still alive in front of them. To be precise, only one person was still alive. This was a peak sage king realm elder. He had a pagoda on his body that enveloped him. At this moment, the pagoda was also dim. It was because of the pagoda that he was still alive. Otherwise, he would have died without a doubt. Those around him were all killed. Not a single one was intact. They were either torn apart or turned into a bloody mist. No, that elder of the Purple Spirit Wonderland Alliance roared crazily. How many experts and elite experts had he brought with him? But now, they were all dead. He was the only one alive. He could not imagine how he would explain this when he returned. In the next moment, his eyes shone brightly, piercing through the void and looking ahead. Lin Xian walked out and said, "Do you still want revenge?" That elder's scalp went numb. "Do you still dare to seek revenge?" Lin Xian had attacked twice. The first time, he destroyed their mansion. The second time, it was this time. Apart from him, all the experts had died. If there was a next time, what kind of scene would it be? He did not dare to imagine. This young man was too deep. He could not see through him at all. "Young Master Qing, we have offended you previously. Please forgive us. From now on, we will no longer be enemies with you. This time, our men were killed because of White Cloud Paradise. We will not let White Cloud Paradise off the hook. This matter has nothing to do with you, young master. We, the Purple Spirit Wonderland, will remember this battle. White Cloud Wonderland, just you wait." With that, he tore open the void and escaped. Hearing the other party's words, Su Chen laughed coldly. It seemed that his methods had worked. He had beaten the White Cloud Wonderland until they bowed down. Since the other party did not dare to release his killing intent, he could only find another target. It was the White Cloud Wonderland. Thinking about it, these two White Cloud Wonderlands had already formed a death grudge. They would definitely fight one another in the future. Damn it. The White Cloud Wonderland was so angry that they vomited blood. The other party said that they were the ones who did it. They had indeed done it, but the most important thing was those 5 beasts. Of course, they did not dare to say that Lin Xian was the one who did it, because they begged Lin Xian to set up those beasts. After thinking about it, it was indeed their strength. But, so what? There was already a conflict between the White Cloud Wonderlands. It was just brought forward. Sooner or later, they would destroy the Purple Spirit Wonderland. All right, you guys handle the rest. I'll find a place to rest. I'm tired from controlling so many beasts. Seeing Lin Xian's pale face, Elder Bai said, "Don't worry, young master. Leave the rest to us. We'll find some strong ones to protect young master." With their strength, they quickly found a mansion. But it was small, only big enough for Lin Xian and the others to live in. They did not mind. They wanted to rebuild the White Cloud Mansion and build a more magnificent mansion. Lin Xian left, and the people behind him looked over. It can't be. Is the battle over? Why didn't the people from the Purple Spirit Wonderland come out? Could it be that they were killed? Heavens, this piece of news quickly spread out. In the ruins ahead, the people from the White Cloud Wonderland were shocked. Some of the younger disciples were excited. Was this a beast tamer? They really wanted to learn this move. Those elders also said that we must firmly grasp this young man in our hands. Do you understand? The others nodded. Of course, they understood. We'll rebuild the mansion, and then we'll rope him in and satisfy him. We'll make him give us the method to control the beasts as soon as possible. We must control him. As for the Purple Spirit Wonderland, since it was over, there was no need to hold back. Since they dared to come, they'll go to hell. Chapter 46:14. The news spread quickly, and the people from the other grotto heavens were shocked. It can't be. You're saying that only one of the experts from the Violet Spirit Paradise managed to leave alive? Have the others all fallen? Are you sure? The people from Qinshan Grotto Heaven asked. An elder nodded. I'm sure. I saw it with my own eyes. Only one person survived, and he was heavily injured. The people from Qingqiu Grotto Heaven were also shocked. How could this be? He was just a young man. The eyes of the elder from Howren Grotto Heaven shone. This young man was too amazing. He had to rope him in. At least, he couldn't offend him. This way, we'll suppress a group of beasts and find a batch of spirit fruits. I'll give them to this young master. We have to get his support. Lin Xian set up the array, and the others laughed. Lin Xian's lips curled up. He snorted. This was just the beginning. Lo Moon said, "Which grotto heaven are we going to attack next?" "I can't wait." Lin Xian said, "We don't have much time. They might contact Shanghai City for such a big thing. Although they were far away, they would still do it. If they found the Green Clan and found out that there was no such person, they would be suspicious." Xiaomu frowned. He knew that Lin Xian's strength was real, but his identity was fake. The other party used the Green Clan instead of Shanghai Palace or Xiao Clan to prevent the 6 Grotto Heavens from taking revenge. Although the distance between the two parties was endless, there was no need to offend so many powerful sections. Lin Xian had a grudge with the Green Clan, so he didn't care and put the blame on Qingzhou. With their speed, they should still have some time. We can make good use of it. Lin Xian thought for a while and said, "I have some friends who were suppressed in the Grotto Heavens and became battle servants. The main goal this time was to save them." Xiaomu and Guyu were shocked. No wonder Lin Xian hated the 6 Grotto Heavens so much. Actually, to tell you the truth, I was the same before. My friends and I came from another world. Who would have thought that he would be suppressed by the 6 great Grotto Heavens? He had to take revenge. Xiaomu said, "This isn't difficult. Young Master can invite the young geniuses of the 6 great Grotto Heavens and control them to find your friends." All right, let's do that." Lin Xian nodded. All he knew was that Fu Hongya was in Violet Grave Paradise. However, he had just dealt heavy damage to the Violet Spirit Paradise twice. It would be troublesome if he wanted to make contact with them again. It would be better for him to take a look at the other paradises and see if any of his friends had been suppressed. On the second day, the people from the 5 great paradises came again, bringing a large amount of resources and demonic beasts, which made Lin Xian very satisfied. At the same time, he sent a voice transmission to the elders. The 6 great Grotto Heavens are considered top-notch sections. There must be quite a number of geniuses in there. I'm going to organize a gathering of geniuses and invite all the geniuses from your Grotto Heaven. We'll have a good gathering and get to know each other. He wanted to make more friends. Really? That's great. The experts and elders of the Grotto Heavens were overjoyed. Don't worry, we'll definitely bring those geniuses here in 3 days. All right, I'll wait for you. Lin Xian began to make arrangements. In his opinion, his friends were all top-notch existences. Even if they were battle servants, they should be given to those top-notch experts and geniuses. Therefore, he should be able to meet many of his friends this time. As expected, after those Grotto Heavens sent the news back, the geniuses from the Grotto Heavens began to move. Naturally, they had heard a little about the Moonshine City. They also wanted to see what was so special about this legendary beast-taming genius. Therefore, in the past 3 days, they used all sorts of methods to rush over. Moonshine City became even more lively in an instant. Every day, there would be powerful figures arriving. The people in Moonshine City were shocked. Oh my God, aren't they the geniuses from the 6 great Grotto Heavens? Why are they all here? What happened? Haven't you heard? That beast-taming genius is going to invite the top-notch geniuses from the 6 great Grotto Heavens for a gathering. Really? I want to go and take a look too. Countless people were envious. However, it was useless. This was only a gathering between Lin Xian and the 6 great Grotto Heavens. Others were not qualified to enter. On this day, dozens of figures arrived at Lin Xian's courtyard. These geniuses were still arrogant and unruly. However, after entering, they realized that there were many beasts swimming in the courtyard. Late-stage and even peak-stage beasts were eyeing them covetously. These geniuses were horrified and put away their arrogance. Come, sit down. Lin Xian walked out and waved his hand. His eyes flashed. As expected, he found some familiar faces. His friends were treated as battle servants. They looked at him coldly as if they did not know him at all. Lin Xian's lips curled up. He secretly transmitted his voice to Xiao Mu and told him about those people. Xiao Mu nodded. Then, Lin Xian found an excuse to talk to a few people in private. The first person to enter was Bai Hao. He was from the White Cloud Grotto Heaven. His name was Bai Cong. He was extremely excited because he had already heard from Elder Bai that this young Master Qing was a godly person. If he could make friends with such a person, it would be extremely beneficial for his future. As soon as she came in, she said, "Young Master, Elder Bai is my second grandpa. Is that so?" Lin Xian nodded. Very good. In the next moment, a golden hand grabbed Bai Cong's head. Bai Cong's face changed. Damn it, what are you doing? He was furious. A shocking amount of energy exploded. At this moment, a sword aura descended. If you move again, I'll take your life. Bai Cong broke out in cold sweat. The surrounding battle servants wanted to help, but they were also sent flying. A black ape appeared and suppressed the battle servants with 2 hands. Lin Xian said, "Let's begin." Xiao Mu nodded his head and walked out. His powerful soul force flew directly into the minds of the 2 figures. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. The power of the Tianji Divine Eyes and Dragon Sword Spirit also flew in. Previously, he could break Fu Hongye's control alone. Now that he had Xiao Mu's help, it was even easier. Soon, the 2 figures' eyes regained their light. In the next moment, they exclaimed, "Where are we? What happened to us? Are you 2 okay?" Lin Xian walked over and asked. "Marshal Uncle Lin." Lu Yuan stood up in shock. Li Hongxia was also surprised. "Where are we?" Lin Xian briefly explained what had happened. The 2 of them were shocked. "We've become battle servants, and it's been a long time. You saved us." Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. Not only you, but also the people from Peerless City and other friends. I won them all out." Then, he looked at Bai Cong and planted the seal of life and death on him. Bai Cong respectfully knelt on the ground and shouted, "Greetings, Lord." Chapter 46:15. Li Hongxiu and Lu Yuan were both stunned. Lin Xian said, "Don't pity him. They treated you as a battle servant before, and now he's going to be your battle servant. From now on, you'll listen to the 2 of us. Do you hear me?" Bai Cong nodded, then stood up. "I'll help you remove the control, then take you away to another place to cultivate." Lin Xian said. Li Hongxiu and Lu Yuan had many things to ask, but they knew that now wasn't the time. The 3 of them pretended that nothing had happened and walked out. Then, another person came in. This time, it was Lan Chao from the Howren Grotto Heaven. His battle servant was Gao Jianfei and Long Aojuan. They were also controlled by Lin Xian. Then, Lin Xian and Xiao Mu removed their seals. The 2 of them were also shocked. Firstly, they were grateful, and secondly, they were angry. Lin Xian said, "Don't worry, there will be a time for revenge, but not now." Next is the Green Hill Grotto Heaven. The one who came in from the Green Hill Grotto Heaven was a genius called Qing Feng. She controlled Shangguan Shaoxian and Yu Ruo. She was also removed by Lin Xian. This way, he found most of his good friends. Of course, there were still a few people, such as Ling Hu Chueshua. He still didn't know where he was. Other than that, there were also the 2 women who were most important to him, Shin Jingqiu and Murong Qingqing. These 2 were also not here. Lin Xian guessed that the 2 of them might not have been suppressed. Perhaps they went to other places. Of course, he wasn't too sure, so he prepared to suppress a few elders. This way, he could get more information. He found Elder Bai. This time, Lin Xian brought him into the Great Sage Tower, then attacked with Xiao Mu. Elder Bai roared and wanted to fight back, but he was instantly suppressed by the 3-eyed vermilion bird. Then, Lin Xian began to control him. This time, he controlled him for a longer time than the other party. After all, Elder Bai was a late-stage Sage King. However, Xiao Mu was so powerful that his opponent's soul was about to collapse. Lin Xian planted the seal of life and death on him. Elder Bai had also become Lin Xian's battle servant. Lin Xian carefully searched his soul and found that there was no news of Shin Jingqiu and Murong Qingqing. From the looks of it, the 2 of them were really not here. His fellow disciples and friends were no longer under his control. They were no longer battle servants. However, Lin Xian did not leave immediately. There were still some things he needed to do, which was to heavily damage the Grotto Heaven and the human world. The 6 Grotto Heavens were related to the human world, and the 6 Grotto Heavens were under the command of the Ethereal Peak. This meant that they were definitely in conflict with the Ethereal Peak. Lin Xian felt that he couldn't just control Bai Rang alone. He had to control some people from the other Grotto Heavens as well. Only then could he launch an attack on Ethereal Peak. It even caused the 6 great Grotto Heavens to kill each other. Lin Xian used his identity as a beast-taming genius to meet with the other elders alone. Indeed, he suppressed some of the elders in the 5 great Grotto Heavens and made them his battle servants. Very well, it's time to begin. Lin Xian planned in secret. Howren Grotto Heaven attacked the elders of the Flying Rain Grotto Heaven. They killed quite a number of elders. The Flying Fish Grotto Heaven roared and attacked the mansion of the Howren Grotto Heaven. Both sides fought fiercely. In the end, the flames of the battle spread. On the other side, the people of the Green Hill Grotto Heaven and the Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven were also engaged in a battle. In an instant, the people of Moonshine City went crazy. What was going on? Why did these Grotto Heavens turn so crazy? One had to know that there were conflicts between these Grotto Heavens. However, they had been peaceful all this while. Even if there were small battles, it would not spread to such a terrifying extent. After all, there was the Ethereal Peak above them. However, the situation seemed to be out of control now. However, they realized that this was just the beginning. In the battle between the Grotto Heavens, some of them even joined forces. For example, the White Cloud Grotto Heaven and the Howren Grotto Heaven joined forces and destroyed the mansion of the Flying Feather Grotto Heaven. The Flying Feather Grotto Heaven went crazy and joined forces with the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven to attack the Howren Grotto Heaven. In short, the battle was getting more and more terrifying. Even the powerful beings of the Grotto Heavens were puzzled. What was going on with this Moonshine City? Someone said that a beast-taming genius had suddenly appeared. Perhaps it was because of this genius that the battle had started. Beast-taming genius. Some of the powerful beings let out a cold glint in their eyes. On the side of the Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven, Elder Yin Hua found him. Elder Shueihua said, "Have you heard of a beast-taming genius that has appeared recently? I think you can go out and control him directly and make him our slave." Elder Shueihua said, "I don't think this is appropriate. Have you told the old ancestor?" Elder Yinhua said, "I'll tell the old ancestor right now. You can head out first. Don't worry, the old ancestor will definitely agree. Furthermore, with the power of your life and death curse, you can definitely do it without anyone knowing." All right then. Elder Shueihua thought about it and decided to head out without much doubt. However, she did not know that she was wrong this time, because Elder Yin Hua had already been chosen to be controlled. Shueihua aged very quickly. She came to Moonshine City and found Lin Xian's mansion. She waited until it was dark before she was ready to set off. At night, there was not even moonlight. It was very dark. Shueihua aged very quickly. As soon as she came in, she sensed the presence of demonic beasts. She activated the powerful life and death curse, and those demonic beasts were directly stunned. Like a wisp of green smoke, she charged towards the palace where Lin Xian was. In the next moment, she saw Lin Xian cultivating. She tore open the void, sneered, and charged over. At this moment, Lin Xian suddenly turned his head. "I've been waiting for you for a long time." Elder Shueihua was shocked. What was going on? He knew she was coming. Could it be a trap? Soon she sneered. "So what if it's a trap? Kid, since you know, then I won't hide it. Kneel down obediently. You can't resist my life and death curse at all." "Yeah, you can try," Lin Xian said with a smile, his eyes blooming with golden light. Elder Shueihua snorted coldly. With a wave of her jade hand, the life and death curse appeared and attacked Lin Xian's soul. Lin Xian used the mysterious heavens map to resist. At the same time, the life and death seal also kept attacking. He actually blocked it. Elder Shueihua was surprised. The other party's soul was already so strong? He was just a young man. In the next moment, She felt the sky and earth spinning, as if she was enveloped by someone. Kid, do you think that by trapping me, you can subdue me? You're too naive. Lin Xian laughed. Elder Shuiwei, long time no see. Your life and death curse is useless against me. If I can break it once, I can break it a second time. What? Who are you? Elder Shuiwei was really stunned. Lin Xian recovered his original appearance. Speaking of which, do you still recognize me? It's actually you. Elder Shuiwei was shocked. How could she not recognize him? Chapter 46:16. Damn brat. Who the hell is he? She had clearly placed a life and death curse on Lin Xian, but Lin Xian wasn't affected at all. Not only that, he had even become the prince consort of the Thousand Mountain Grotto, and now he had appeared here, setting up a trap and waiting for her. Could it be that you're that beast tamer genius? That's right. Lin Xian smiled. That's me. Why did you come back? Elder Shuiwei was shocked. She had a bad feeling. Lin Xian snorted. You didn't treat us as humans and treated me and my friends as battle servants. I'm here to take revenge. I want your grotto heavens to kill each other. At the same time, I want to find the power of your human world and kill it. Damn it, don't even think about it. Our 6 grotto heavens all have great sages. No matter how strong you are, you're not our match. Elder Shuiwei tried to escape as she spoke, but this was the Great Sage Tower. How could she escape? In an instant, she was sent flying back. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry, I won't go to your headquarters. Those great sages can't threaten me. Also, why do you think you're here? Many people are already under my control. Don't you like to treat others as battle servants? I'll let you have a taste of what it's like to be a battle servant. With just you? Elder Shuiwei sneered. What if you add me? Right at this moment, a powerful soul slammed down on him. Elder Shuiwei was sent flying, vomiting blood. Her soul was also injured. Who was it? She was really shocked. A soul storm. This was too powerful. In the next moment, she saw a man walk over. His hair was gray, and his aura was extremely terrifying. Who was this? Was this the person Xiao Mu was talking about? Young master, I'll help you injure him. The rest is up to you. Xiao Mu was an expert from 5,000 years ago. He had been in the Heaven's Mystery Tower every day for 5,000 years. How strong was his soul? It had reached an inconceivable level. Elder Shuiwei was strong, but she wasn't Xiao Mu's match. After all, Elder Shuiwei mainly controlled the younger generation. Xiao Mu could even control peak Great Sage Kings. Not to mention Elder Shuiwei. Not long after, Elder Shuiwei's soul was heavily injured. Lin Xian stepped on the man's head and said, Do you still think I'm joking with you? He used the seal of life and death to strike into his opponent's soul. Elder Shuiwei roared. She had controlled countless geniuses and made them battle servants, but in the end, she herself had become a battle servant. In the next moment, she knelt respectfully in front of Lin Xian in a very pious manner. Lin Xian laughed heartily at the sight. If he controlled Elder Shuiwei, he would be able to indirectly control the Thousand Mountain Paradise's battle servants. This was also an extremely powerful force. Elder Shuiwei's position was very high, so when she returned, she immediately mobilized the forces of the mortal world to assassinate the Flying Fish Grotto. The Wasted Fish Paradise had suffered heavy losses, and they were also furious. Did you think that we didn't have any? They had also mobilized a force. After 2 grotto heavens mobilized the forces of the mortal world, the other grotto heavens started to take action as well. In a short period of time, many elders of those grotto heavens had fallen. Even the few elders controlled by Lin Xian had fallen. For example, Bai Chongqing had fallen. He did not feel that it was a pity. These people were all guilty. They deserved to die and go to hell. The other powerful beings of Moonlight City felt their scalps go numb. They felt that these grotto heavens had gone completely crazy, and this matter had finally spread to Ethereal Peak. The people of Ethereal Peak were furious. Stop messing around. With this order, the forces of the mortal world were immediately sealed, and the grotto heavens could no longer use them. At the same time, they were furious. As for what had happened, these Ethereal Peak powerful beings want to find out. After Lin Xian received the news, he did not take any action. Now that the 6 grotto heavens were fighting each other, many geniuses and elders had fallen. It could be said that each grotto had suffered heavy losses, especially in the last few days when they had mobilized the forces of the mortal world. He was very satisfied. Next up was Ethereal Peak. However, Xiaomu said that Ethereal Peak was stronger than the grotto heavens. It would be difficult for them to fight against them. Lin Xian nodded. He would take a look first. Anyway, he had already taken revenge for the grotto heavens. If it did not work out, he would leave first. He would come back when he was stronger. The 2 main goals of this trip were basically completed, especially rescuing his companions, which was very important to Lin Xian. Therefore, he was also preparing to leave. On the other side, the people of Ethereal Peak had also investigated. It was a beast tamer who had stirred up such a big storm. Damn it! Where did this beast tamer come from? Did you investigate him thoroughly? A Saint King in front said respectfully. Reporting to Elder Pin, it was said that he was a beast tamer genius from the Green Clan of Shanghai City. He was very powerful. Shanghai City, Green Clan. The people of Misty Peak furrowed their brows tightly. This was not their territory at all. How did the other party come to their place? Was there a conspiracy? The elder waved his hand, and the Saint King left. At this moment, a few people walked over to ask. When they heard about the Green Clan of Shanghai City, they were also surprised. Xingshan had just returned. He seemed to have mentioned the mountain sea beast battles. He should know about the Green Clan. Is that so? Is Xingshan back? Go and invite him over. Xingshan. He was from Ethereal Peak's Star Clan. However, he did not cultivate an Ethereal Peak because he liked to travel. Therefore, he went to another sect, which was Thousand Transformation Sect. Previously, during the mountain sea beast battles, Xingshan followed the people of Thousand Transformation Sect to watch. After the battles, he was ready to go back to Star Clan. After all, he hadn't returned to the clan for a long time. This time, he was summoned for a meeting within 2 days of his return. What was going on? Elders, why are you looking for me? He looked at the person beside him. This person was called Duguju. Duguju said, "You haven't been here for a long time. Initially, we did not want to disturb you. However, there is something that is very confusing. Therefore, we wanted to ask for your advice." Xingshan smiled. "Brother Dugu, you don't have to be so courteous with me." Duguju nodded. "Recently, a beast tamer genius appeared in our region. He is very terrifying. It can be said that he has stirred up a storm. He claims to be a genius from the Green Clan. He can even control Saint King late-stage beasts. It is said that even Saint King peak beasts listen to him. Have you heard of this person before?" Xingshan was stunned. A young man could control Saint King late-stage beasts? Saint King peak beasts? This was impossible. Not to mention that he was from the Green Clan. He shook his head. If you said that he was from Shanghai Palace, it might be possible. However, it was impossible for him to be from the Green Clan. Chapter 46:17. The number 1 genius of the Green Clan had already fallen. Even if he was still alive, he wouldn't have the strength to do so. Could it be that you're mistaken? Duguju said. How could it be? It was this genius of the Green Clan who had caused a storm in the Moonshine City. The battle between the 6 grotto heavens had started because of him. It was impossible. Xingshan shook his head. Our Myriad Transformation Sect and the Green Clan had a cooperative relationship, so I'm very familiar with the situation of the Green Clan. There was definitely no such young man, unless he wasn't from the Green Clan. Duguju's eyes lit up. Since the other party had said so, it couldn't be false. Who was this person? What was his purpose? Xingshan said. I'm very curious about who this genius is. I've decided to go to the Moonshine City to take a look. Duguju said. Don't worry, I'll go. But before that, I have to prepare. If he's really from the Green Clan, then it'll be fine. If he's not, then don't blame the Misty Peak for being impolite. A trace of cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. The people of the Misty Peak had already moved quickly. Lin Xian didn't know that he had been targeted and even seen through. However, he knew that he didn't have much time, so he prepared to leave. On this day, the people of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven came again and said, Someone wants to see you. Young master, come with me. Lin Xian frowned. Who was it? The other party said, this person is not ordinary. He's even stronger than the people of the Grotto Heaven because he's from the Misty Peak and the Star Clan. Hearing this, Lin Xian's face immediately darkened. Someone from the Star Clan? He didn't have a good impression of the Star Clan either. He said, I don't have time to prepare to leave. The elder of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven said, we won't delay you. That person is already here. He's in the White Cloud Mansion. Young master, you can go there now. As he spoke, an aura emanated from the elder's body and locked onto Lin Xian. Lin Xian furrowed his brows slightly. Then, he smiled. All right, I'll go and prepare. Lin Xian turned around and went in. The people of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven were waiting outside. With a wave of his hand, the others secretly sealed off the entire courtyard. This brat would definitely not be able to escape. As long as he wanted to escape, she would immediately discover him. When Lin Xian came in, he frowned. Guyu asked, what's wrong? Lin Xian said that it was very likely that they had been discovered. Their attitude today was not right. Xiaomu said, it was a pity that the previous elder Bai had died. Otherwise, they could have used him. Lin Xian said, I think the star race has discovered our identities. Thus, we shouldn't stay here for long. This time, we'll go and see what's going on. But no matter what, we have to leave immediately after this matter is over. The two of you will stay on the Black Earth and be ready to move at any time. After that, Lin Xian walked out and followed the elder of White Cloud Grotto to White Cloud Mansion. At this moment, the White Cloud Mansion had already been rebuilt. After all, there were 5 peerless demonic beasts stationed here. Naturally, they were reluctant to leave. This time, it was even more majestic than before. However, there were still some formations that were not set up. Even so, it was still extremely powerful. No one dared to provoke it. After entering, Lin Xian walked past countless pavilions and buildings. He realized that the number of people in White Cloud Mansion had doubled. Furthermore, the auras of these people were extremely cold. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. However, he acted as if he knew nothing and continued walking in. Soon, he entered a huge hall. There were a few figures waiting in the hall. One of them had an extremely terrifying aura. Not only was there starlight, there was also a mysterious energy. When Lin Xian looked at the other party, a cold light flashed in his eyes. He seemed to have seen this aura before. However, the other party was trying to hide it. Young Master Qing, you're here. The elder of White Cloud Grotto smiled and said, let me introduce you. Your old friend is here to see you. Old friend? Lin Xian looked ahead and said, where's my old friend? Why? Don't you know him? The elder of White Cloud Grotto laughed. He pointed at the figure and said, this is an expert from Myriad Transformation Sect. Isn't your Green Clan cooperating with Myriad Transformation Sect? Myriad Transformation Sect? I see. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. No wonder he felt that the aura was so familiar. However, he quickly said, we do cooperate with Myriad Transformation Sect. However, I don't know everyone. Xing Shan walked out and smiled. I'm not the most important person in Myriad Transformation Sect. However, I'm not as weak as you say. I'm also involved in some of the cooperation with Green Clan. However, how come I don't know that there's such a genius in Green Clan? What's your name, young master? Lin Xian said coldly. How can you know everything about Green Clan? I'm a hidden genius from Green Clan. Really? Xing Shan sneered. Why didn't you participate in the Mountain Sea Beast Wars? At that time, Green Clan was beaten up badly. Even the number 1 genius of the clan fell. Why didn't a hidden genius like you take action? You're not from Green Clan. Tell me, who are you? When he said the last sentence, endless starlight rushed out from his body and surrounded the entire Dalian. A terrifying aura pressed down on Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood there, unmoved. The star chart in the sky stopped and floated above Lin Xian's head. Kid, you're so good at acting. Huh? So what if you're acting? Today, I've torn your face apart. You're not from Green Clan. The elders of White Cloud Grotto changed their expression and walked up one by one. So it's true. Who are you? What are you plotting in White Cloud Grotto? Lin Xian sneered. I'm not from Green Clan? Open your eyes and look. Suddenly, a ball of green light appeared in his eyes and slashed forward. That gaze turned into a blade and destroyed everything. When Xing Shan saw this, he was stunned. Eyes of Blade, how do you know this? At this moment, he was stunned. The Eyes of Blade was a unique eye technique of the Green Clan. No one else knew it. Logically speaking, he knew that Lin Xian was not from Green Clan. But now, Lin Xian showed the bloodline of Green Clan. He was completely confused. The experts of White Cloud Grotto were also stunned. They stopped and did not take action. What's going on? Could it be a misunderstanding? At this moment, Lin Xian sneered. A vortex appeared on his body and a fiery red claw flew out and attacked forward. Xing Shan vomited blood and flew backward. Many cracks appeared on his body. His starry sky map was burned. Not good. The people of White Cloud Grotto exclaimed. Xing Shan roared. Damn it, catch him. He's not from Green Clan. Although he did not know why Lin Xian knew the Eyes of Blade, it was obvious that Lin Xian wanted to kill him. Chapter 46:18. That's right, you guessed right. I'm not from the Green Clan. Since the other party had seen through him, he did not intend to hide it because he did not intend to stay here any longer. He was ready to go back. Damn it! The people of White Cloud Grotto roared. Catch him! In an instant, countless experts gathered here. A formation was formed, and 49 giant swords descended from the sky. They slashed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not dodge at all. He formed a seal with his palms, and the ground darkened. In the next moment, the ground cracked open, and countless trees surrounded it, forming a powerful shield that blocked all the sword light. At the same time, the whole palace was torn apart, and the surrounding people all flew into the sky. They were shocked. Damn it, it's trees. They're using fire. Someone roared. An elder formed a seal, and a monstrous flame lit up the sky, illuminating the world. However, the trees were not afraid of fire at all. As they swayed, the entire void and sea of fire collapsed. Lin Xian stood there and sneered. Stupid trash, do you think you can hurt these trees with fire? These are demonic beasts at the peak of the Sage King realm. I'll let you people of White Cloud Grotto know what pain is. After speaking, Lin Xian roared, and his golden eyes swept across the entire White Cloud mansion. The earth and sky cracked open, and the 5-peaked demonic beasts were all awakened. Demonic chi filled the air, surrounding the 9 heavens. The people of White Cloud Grotto trembled, and their faces turned pale. Oh no, we're in danger. Damn it! Did the other party set up these demonic beasts for this moment? Get out of here. They still remembered how the 5 demonic beasts had destroyed the people of Purple Spirit Grotto. Now, they did not dare to fight back. Lin Xian sneered. Since you're here, don't leave. The demonic beasts had completely exploded. Boom. The whole White Cloud mansion, which had just been built, was shattered again. The bodies of the elders and disciples were like kites swaying in the wind, torn apart. Only some of the top experts could resist, but they were also vomiting blood. The people of Moonshine City were stunned. White Cloud Mansion was destroyed. Who did it? Are the experts of Purple Spirit Grotto attacking again? They looked around, but in the next moment, they found that the demonic beasts were dancing, destroying everything. The experts of the White Cloud Grotto had fallen. At this moment, a ray of starlight lit up the world, forming a huge star chart that cut everything apart. Moreover, there were countless mysterious auras that neutralized the attacks of the demonic beasts. Xing Shan roared, his eyes turning red. In that instant, he had been injured by a sneak attack. However, he was still a peak expert after all. He was extremely powerful. Now that he had recovered, he naturally wanted to retaliate. However, no matter how strong he was no match for the 5-peaked demonic beasts. He could only leave quickly. He tore apart heaven and earth to escape. The people of White Cloud Grotto also wanted to escape. However, they were not so lucky. In the end, only 2 elders managed to escape. The rest of them all died here. The white cloud mansion had been reduced to ruins, and the ground had cracked open. Lin Xian flew out from inside. His face was cold. Since he had been discovered, he had to leave quickly. However, he was still one step too late because his identity had already been exposed when Xing Shan returned. Therefore, the people of Misty Peak naturally took action. After Xing Shan escaped, he sent out a signal. Dugu Ju arrived with his men and sealed the entire Moonlight City. At the same time, a cold voice was heard. People of the 6 great grottos, listen up. Capture the beast-taming genius. The people of Moonlight City were stunned. It was because of this beast-taming genius again. The people of the 6 great grottos were even more shocked. What was going on? Why did he suddenly want to make a move on the other party? Was it because the Misty Peak was afraid of him? They did not know. However, they soon received news that this person's identity was fake. He was not a genius of the Green Clan. He must have other motives and schemes for coming here. Hearing this, the people of the 6 great grottos were also shocked. Especially the Purple Spirit Grotto, they were the first to stand out. That detestable kid. How dare he deceive us and kill so many of our grotto's experts? He will definitely die. The Purple Spirit Grotto was the first to gather a large number of experts and began to search the city, preparing to capture him. The people of the other grottos also began to move. After all, no one dared to go against the Misty Peak. Just like this, the entire Moonlight City was completely sealed. Not even a fly could fly out. The other party would definitely not be able to escape. They found him. Under the joint pursuit of the 6 great grottos and the Misty Peak, they finally found Lin Xian. They surrounded him. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Without hiding, he directly activated his demonic beasts and attacked. Terrifying demonic beasts covered the sky and earth, sweeping across all directions. The 3-eyed vermilion bird, the strange golden fish, and the shadow bat. Other than Lin Xian, Xiaomu and Gu Yu were also secretly attacking. Lin Xian attacked even more aggressively. The great spear of destruction swung out, bringing with it a destructive aura. However, the people of the 6 great grottos were not weak either. Moreover, the people of the Misty Peak were also here. The Star Clan joined forces to suppress the starry sky. Lin Xian felt immense pressure. Golden light bloomed from his body. He punched the sky and sent the starry sky map flying. Many people were stunned. Some of the experts of the grottos were shocked. This physique. Damn it, it's that kid. He's Lin Xian. A series of exclamations rang out. With this golden physique, coupled with the human ruler's seal and mountain embracing seal, everyone finally knew the identity of Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not hide anymore and returned to his true appearance. He laughed coldly. That's right, it's yours truly. The 6 great grottos dared to suppress my companion. Today, I'll make you pay the price. Kill him. The eyes of the Star Clan turned red instantly. The other party had killed a top genius of their family. Now that they had seen him, how could they let him go? In an instant, the starlight in the sky turned into sword chi and attacked continuously. The other people of the 6 great grottos gritted their teeth. The people of the 1,000 mountain grottos were incomparably cold. To be honest, they were shocked as well. They had not expected the other party to be related to the 1,000 mountain grottos. They had to suppress the other party and cut off all ties. Logically speaking, any young prodigy, or even a saint king at the peak, would be destroyed by such a terrifying attack, unless it was a supreme sage. Of course, there was an exception, and that was Lin Xian. There were way too many beasts around Lin Xian right now. Even though he was outnumbered, he could control these beasts and fight back. In an instant, both parties were evenly matched. The people of the 6 great grottos were shocked. Xing Shan walked over and said coldly, "Don't worry, no matter how strong this kid is, he'll run out of soul power one day. By then, he wouldn't be able to control these beasts, and he would definitely die. Indeed, even if he had to exhaust his soul power today, he had to exhaust the other party to death." Lin Xian's face was cold. At this moment, he set up a formation, and his body turned into nothingness and disappeared. It was a teleportation formation. They could not let him escape. The people of the Purple Spirit Grottos gritted their teeth. Chapter 46:19. Xing Shan snorted coldly. Don't worry, he can't run away. The entire Moonshine City can only be entered, but not exited. As expected, Lin Xian wanted to use the teleportation array to leave, but he found that it was blocked by a powerful star power. He could only teleport to another place to hide. Moreover, he had collected countless demonic beasts, changed his aura, and hid in the crowd. That kid had disappeared. He seemed to have a special way to disguise himself as someone else. No matter how powerful his methods are, he can't leave. Doesn't he have companions in the 6 great grotto heavens as battle servants? Find those people. I don't believe that he won't come out. If he doesn't come out, I'll kill one. I want him to see his companions die in front of him. Soon, the people of the 6 great grotto heavens took action. They went back to bring all of Lin Xian's companions. At the same time, they brought another group of experts. They didn't believe that Lin Xian could escape this time. The 1,000 Mountain Grotto Heavens also received the news and quickly took action. Elder Shuiwei stood out and took the initiative to take this mission. She brought a group of experts to Moonshine City. The people of the 1,000 Mountain Grotto Heavens were also shocked. They didn't expect that Lin Xian would dare to go against the Misty Peak. The people of Black Ice Ancestors faction also shook their heads and sighed. Fortunately, Xueqi wasn't in the Grotto Heavens at the moment. She was out training. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome if she secretly helped them. Now, they didn't have to worry about that. They could take action. Unfortunately, they didn't know that even if Xueqi wasn't here, Elder Shuiwei had already become Lin Xian's battle servant. This time, the people that Elder Shuiwei brought were all experts under his control. They listened to him completely. They could fight back at any time. Not only that, but Elder Shuiwei had also received Lin Xian's order. She was on her way to the Moonshine City. She was on her way to Moonshine City, using a teleportation array to send out a signal. This signal was sent to the Xintian Pavilion. This was Lin Xian's signal for help. After the people of the Xintian Pavilion received it, they immediately took action. Jian Wuk personally led countless experts of the Xintian Pavilion and activated the teleportation array to Moonshine City. Dugu Ju had also come personally to preside over this matter. He and Xing Shan stood side by side above the 9th heaven, their gazes covering the entire Moonshine City. Xing Shan said, "Capture that brat. We can't let him die. He has a lot of secrets on him. He has a super strong physique and a terrifying soul. We have to make him our battle servant. Get all the value he had. Don't worry, I know what to do." Dugu Ju also sneered. 2 men in battle armor knelt down on one knee and reported to the elders that the people from the 6 great grotto heavens had brought the battle servants here. Very good. Take them to the tower and spread the news throughout the Moonshine City. Tell that brat, it's best if he comes out obediently, and we can consider letting his friends go. Otherwise, every day, he would torture a battle servant and let his people taste the feeling of living a life worse than death. Yes, the black-armored man returned to carry out his orders. Soon, everyone in the Moonshine City knew about it, and their scalps suddenly went numb. That brat was dead for sure. Anyone who dared to provoke the ethereal peak and the 6 grotto heavens would not be able to survive. Lin Xian naturally knew about it as well. His face was cold, but soon, he sneered. He activated the seal of life and death and gave the order. After Elder Shuiyu arrived at the Moonshine City, she began to go to the other grotto heavens residences. Then, she said, "Leave Lin Xian's friends to me. I have the means to guarantee that they will suffer a life worse than death. Moreover, I won't kill them." No one expected that Shuiyu Elder would come personally. Every grotto heaven had someone like Shuiyu Elder, who was in charge of controlling the battle servants. However, these people usually didn't appear. This time, only Shuiyu Elder from the 6 great grotto heavens appeared as a control-type elder. Naturally, everyone believed her. However, this time, the 6 great grotto heavens still sent some elders. Among them, a few elders from the grotto heavens stood out and took the initiative to accept the order. Following these elders, Shuiyu Elder and the others suppressed Lu Yuan, Shangguan Shaoxian, and the others. They all gathered together. Among them, the masters of the battle servants, those geniuses, also came. Ling Tian had also come. Behind him was Fu Hongye. He looked at Fu Hongya and sneered. I heard that the one who is courting death this time is your fellow disciple. Fine. I'll let you see how he will be destroyed by us. When he thought of Lin Xian, he gnashed his teeth in anger. After all, Xueqi was also his dream. However, in the end, he was defeated by Lin Xian. How could he tolerate it? Now was the best time for him to take revenge. He sneered and prepared to torture Fu Hongya first. She slapped Fu Hongya to the ground. At this moment, Fu Hongya retreated and dodged the attack. Ling Tian was stunned. Damn it! You dare to dodge? Kneel down. As the master, he could kill the battle servants at will, and the battle servants wouldn't resist. However, today, there was an exception. Fu Hongya snorted coldly. Kneel down. As he spoke, he slapped forward. Ling Tian was stunned. He was pushed back and couldn't believe it. He actually dared to attack. It seems that you are courting death. He activated the soul mark and wanted to torture Fu Hongya. However, he found Fu Hongya standing there coldly. Damn it! You are out of control? Ling Tian was so frightened that he took 2 steps back. His face was full of shock. How is this possible? He looked at the elders of the surrounding grotto heavens and said, Elders, take him down together. This kid is very strange. He can actually break the control of the grotto heavens. However, the surrounding elders still looked at him coldly and didn't react at all. He looked at Elder Shuiwei again because this time, Elder Shuiwei was in charge of this matter. However, Elder Shuiwei didn't react. Damn it, what's going on? Can someone tell me what's going on? Ling Tian roared crazily. He felt that the world had gone crazy. At this moment, a voice came from behind him. It's useless. They won't listen to you because they take orders from me. Who is it? Ling Tian was so frightened that he turned around abruptly. In the next moment, he saw a figure walking over. It's you. He recognized Lin Xian at a glance. Damn kid. You actually dare to come out? Elder Shuiwei, take him down. It's this kid. Elder Shuiwei and the other elders of the grotto heavens turned their heads to look at Lin Xian and bowed respectfully. Greetings, Lord. Ling Tian was stunned. He was so frightened that his scalp went numb. His eyes were about to fall out. Heavens, what's going on? What did I see? These powerful elders of the grotto heavens actually attacked the other party like this, and even called him Lord. Damn it, how can an ant receive such treatment? He looked at those young geniuses again. Bai Tsong, Lan Chao, Qing Feng. What are you doing? Hurry up and attack him. Hurry up and inform the grotto heavens. However, what shocked him even more was that these young geniuses directly knelt on the ground and faced Lin Xian with incomparable respect. Chapter 46:20. Lin Xian slapped Ling Tian, sending him flying. Stupid ant, can't you see what's going on? They're all my battle servants now. If I want them to live, they'll live. If I want them to die, none of them can live. No, this can't be real. Ling Tian went crazy. What kind of method is this? This is heaven-defying. Can the elders and geniuses of the grotto heaven be controlled? Lin Xian sneered. I've wanted to kill you for a long time, but Hongya said that she wants to kill you personally. So now's the time. Hongya walked over and said, Junior Martial Uncle, don't worry. I'll kill him myself. Aunt, you think you can kill me? Ling Tian roared. Fu Hongya said coldly, do you really think you're so high and mighty? You're just lucky to be born in the grotto heaven. Although we came from other worlds, our talent is definitely not inferior to yours. The only thing we lacked was some luck. Now that your luck is back, what right do you have to be arrogant in front of us? Fu Hongya, Lin Xian, and the others came from other worlds. They once stood at the peak of the world and even the universe. They were unparalleled existences. Their talent and strength were top-notch. It was only after they were suppressed that they became battle servants. If they were given the same opportunity in time, defeating Ling Tian and the others wouldn't be a problem. Now was the time for Fu Hongya to prove herself. Ling Tian sneered and looked at Lin Xian. He gritted his teeth and said, Kid, don't make a move if you have the guts. I want to fight him one-on-one. Lin Xian said indifferently, Don't worry, we won't make a move. This is a battle between the two of you. All right, that's what you said. See how I'll deal with this kid. He walked over with large strides. His speed was extremely fast, like lightning. His palms formed a seal, turning into a divine disc, and slammed forward. How could Ling Tian be his opponent in a one-on-one fight? But this time, he was wrong. Fu Hongye snorted, and a red leaf flew over. It turned into a bolt of lightning and pierced through Ling Tian's palm. Ling Tian retreated, his face full of shock. Damn it, how is this possible? As his battle servant, he was well aware of the other party's strength. Why did it exceed his imagination? Fu Hongye sneered. Do you really think I've always been your battle servant? It's not like that anymore. After he finished speaking, he erupted with an extremely cold radiance. The terrifying red leaf carried with it a monstrous power of laws as it charged over. Dozens of red leaves danced in the sky as fast as lightning. Ling Tian roared and used all of his strength to counterattack. He was a top genius of the heavenly grotto, so how could he lose? However, after 30 moves, he was injured again. This time, one of his arms was cut off and turned into a bloody mist. After 50 moves, he was split in half. Damn it, he was finally frightened. Don't hit me, spare my life. Too strong. Although his cultivation was higher than the other party's experience and decisiveness were not things that he possessed. This wasn't something that could only be achieved by going through hundreds of battles. It required countless battles of life and death. Ling Tian had never experienced such a battle before, but Fu Hongye had it. This was the difference between the two. Don't kill me. Ling Tian was scared. He immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Fu Hongye. Then, he looked at Lin Xian. Please, spare my life. Please spare me, spare my life. Even if you treat me as a battle servant, that's fine. Fu Hongye walked over with large strides and sneered. A battle servant? You don't have the right. A red leaf penetrated the other party's forehead, killing his soul. Ling Tian fell to the ground, his soul destroyed. Even until his death, he could not believe that he was killed by his battle servant. At the same time, Lin Xian waved his hand and said to Lu Yuan, Long Aojuan, and the others, you guys can do it too. Lu Yuan, Shangguan Shaoxian, and the others attacked together, killing Bai Cong, Qing Feng, Lan Chao, and the other geniuses. Then, they roared at the sky. They had been too aggrieved during this period, and now they finally had their revenge. Young martial uncle, what should we do next? These people came to Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian said, put on a good show, then we'll leave. I'll bring you to a big sect, and you can cultivate there. Old Xiao, I'll need your help next. Xiaomu walked out, took out a few beasts, and extracted their souls. Then, he used the bodies of Ling Tian, Lan Chao, and the others to fuse with them. In the next moment, phantoms appeared one after another, and then they turned into the same scene as Fu Hongye and the others. It was equivalent to a clone. That would do. That's great. Fu Hongye and the others smiled. They were waiting in the dark. Next, Elder Shuiwei received the order and quickly led the fake clones up the city tower. Then, the news was spread. They gave Lin Xian a day to show himself. Otherwise, these people would suffer a fate worse than death. Countless saints in Moonlight City were shocked. They looked up at the figures on the city tower, shook their heads, and sighed. It was a pity that they dared to go against the Paradise and Misty Peak. These people were doomed. A day later, Lin Xian did not appear. Dugu Ju's face darkened, and he took action. Soon, the people of the Six Great Paradise attacked the battle servants. Lightning flames surged out, burning the battle servants and causing them to roar crazily. Of course, it was only the souls of the beasts that were roaring. As for the bodies, they were the bodies of dead geniuses. However, Xiaomu had used a peerless ability to change them. In their eyes, Lu Yuan, Fu Hongye, and the others were being punished. The people of the Six Great Paradise laughed proudly. The people of Misty Peak were also cold. They were going to tell the world. This was the result of provoking them. Let's see who would dare to challenge them in the future. 3 days later, those battle servants were already on the verge of death. None of them were in good shape. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. They were terrified. They could not offend the sixth great paradise in the future, and they could not offend Misty Peak. However, on the third day, a figure walked out. It was Lin Xian. The people of Thousand Mountain Paradise were the first to roar. The people of the other paradises also moved out. They stood in the sky and sneered. "Kid, you're finally out. Why? Can't hold it in anymore? If you come out now, your friends can still live. Otherwise, they'll all go to hell. Kneel on the ground obediently and accept our punishment." Cold voices rang out one after another. In the sky, two figures walked out. They were Dugu Ju and Xing Shan. The two of them stood side by side. Behind them were some powerful people of Misty Peak. They were like gods, looking down at Lin Xian. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at these people. He sneered. "Just with you guys? You can't catch me. Today, I'm here to tell you that yours truly is leaving today. This is a punishment for you guys. However, it's not over yet. One day, I'll come again. All of you, kneel at my feet." Chapter 46:21. His cold voice rang out in all directions. Everyone in the Moonlight City felt their scalps go numb. This was the only person who dared to say such harsh words in front of the six grottos and Misty Peak. Sure enough, when the surrounding people heard this, they also raised their heads and laughed. In the sky, the people of Misty Peak snorted. "You want to leave today? Don't you think you're thinking too much?" Xing Shan's face darkened. "These are his friends, right? Find two of them and kill them on the spot. I'll let him see his friends with his own eyes, because he's going to hell." Soon, Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxian's figures were dragged over. Both of them were covered in blood, and their souls were still roaring. At this moment, the other two elders walked over as well. Energy exploded from their bodies, and they were about to strike. However, this palm strike did not land on Lu Yuan and Shangguan Xiaoxian. Instead, it landed on the elders of Misty Peak. Instantly, the two elders of Misty Peak were sent flying, their bodies torn apart. Their souls were roaring. "Damn it! How dare you attack me?" The surrounding people were stunned as well. "Oh my God, what's going on?" Xing Shan's face darkened. Dugu Ju snorted. "Qinshan Grottos, Haran Grottos, how dare you? How dare you betray Misty Peak?" His cold voice was filled with boundless killing intent. However, just as he finished speaking, a few more explosions could be heard. The other elders of Misty Peak were sent flying as well, vomiting blood. This time, it was Green Hill Grottos and Flying Feather Grottos. Everyone in the Moonlight City went crazy. What was going on with these four grottos? How dare they attack Misty Peak? Could it be that they had betrayed Misty Peak? Were they on Lin Xian's side now? The elders of Misty Peak were roaring as well. "Damn it! How dare you attack us?" Lin Xian laughed out loud. "That's right, they're on my side now. Misty Peak, do you still have the right to be arrogant in front of me now? Damn it." Dugu Ju gritted his teeth as well, glaring at Lin Xian. The other elders of the grottos were roaring crazily. "Elder Dugu, don't listen to him. We're not on his side at all. We've always been on Misty Peak's side." "That's right. You can believe them. Of Misty Peak will only lose their lives." Lin Xian laughed coldly. Dugu Ju and the others shouted coldly, "Don't move. All of you from the heavenly cave stay here." "Why did you attack? Why are you on that brat's side?" Xing Shan gritted his teeth and said, "It was an eye technique. They were probably being controlled. You also know that he can control demonic beasts at the late stage of the Saint King realm. He can even control demonic beasts at the peak of the Saint King realm. You can imagine how terrifying his soul power and eye technique are." Naturally, he didn't believe that everyone in the grotto heaven was being controlled. However, he couldn't tell who was being controlled and who wasn't. This was a very awkward situation. Dugu Ju gritted his teeth. "Quick, let's do it ourselves." The people of Misty Peak walked up and stood in front of the battle servants. "Brat, so what if you can control the people of the grottos? Don't tell me you don't want your friends' lives anymore?" "That's right. If he values his friends, then they still have a chance." Lin Xian laughed out loud when he heard that. "Of course I value my friends. Unfortunately, they have already come to my side. He waved his hand, and a few figures flew over. They were Lu Yuan, Li Hongxiu, Shangguan Shaoxian, and the others. How could this be? The eyes of the people of Misty Peak almost popped out. Have these people been saved? Then who were they torturing for the past few days? Damn it! Elder Xingshan was furious. He attacked crazily, hitting these people. Soon, these people's bodies were torn apart. Their souls flew out and turned into the souls of demonic beasts, roaring into the sky. As for those bodies, they astonished the crowd even more. That's Ling Tian. Lan Chao? Damn it! That's the genius of our grottos. The elders were crazy. They were torturing their own geniuses these days. The elders of the grottos felt like they were about to break down. They had never suffered such a big loss. Moreover, the other party was just a young man. Kill him. The elders of the grottos roared crazily. The people of Misty Peak were even colder. They attacked. Countless people rushed up, and a great battle broke out. You want to fight? I'll fight you to the end. Lin Xian summoned many demonic beasts. At the same time, the immemorial demon mountain pressed down. The few people who were close to it were sent flying. Lone Moon walked out as well. On the other side, Fu Hongye, Lu Yuan, and the others also attacked aggressively. Although they couldn't defeat the elders, they had no problem fighting against the young disciples. More importantly, Elder Shuiwei and the other elders who were being controlled also attacked. Especially Elder Shuiwei, who led a group of battle servants and charged over. And they were charging towards Misty Peak. The people of Misty Peak were so angry that they vomited blood. You'll die today. Dugu Ju shouted coldly and slashed out. Although he was only a late-stage Saint King, his combat strength was heaven-defying. His strength was equivalent to a peak Saint King. In front of Lin Xian, the three-eyed vermilion bird rushed over and shot out flames, blocking the shocking blade light. I don't believe that you can survive today. Xingshan also attacked aggressively. Like a star mountain, he brought with him terrifying power. Lu Yuan and the others vomited blood and retreated. Lin Xian also retreated. Xiaomu shouted coldly. The hallucination song exploded, and the terrifying heavenly music attacked. The star map on Xingshan's body shook. It's useless. Xingshan sneered. This time, we're well prepared. With a wave of his hand, a few more terrifying experts walked over. They were the experts of the star race and Misty Peak. The people of the 6 grottos also attacked crazily. In an instant, Lin Xian and the others were suppressed. What to do? Lu Yuan and the others looked terrible. Lin Xian sneered. He took out the Xintian token and crushed it. The space between heaven and earth shattered. The enchantment that sealed Moonlight City was also broken at this moment. A huge whirlpool appeared, and many people walked out from it. The leader was a middle-aged man with a long sword on his back. Sword chi filled the sky. Beside him was an elder covered in golden light. Other than that, there were many experts. Their auras covered the sky. Even the people of the 6 grottos felt their scalps go numb. The warriors in Moonlight City, who were watching the battle, prostrated on the ground in fear. Who are these people? They're too scary. Dugu Ju's pupils shrank. Jinwook, it's you. Is Xintian Pavilion going to go against us again? Last time, Lin Xian had been rescued by the people of the Xintian Pavilion. This time, Jinwook had come again. Furthermore, he had brought even more experts with him. Lin Xian is from Xintian Pavilion. If he's in danger, how can we not come? Jinwook said coldly. Elder Golden Light shouted coldly. Whoever dares to touch him, I'll destroy their souls. A terrifying voice shook the sky. Chapter 46:22. Dugu Ju's face turned ugly. But at this moment, Xingshan stepped out and said coldly, Is Xintian Pavilion that powerful? But at most, you can go against Misty Peak. If we join in, can Xintian Pavilion stop us? Hearing this, many people's faces changed. Even the people from Xintian Pavilion frowned. They did not expect Myriad Transformation Sect to be involved as well. They were also a top sect. Xiaomu stepped out and said coldly, What if we join in? Also, Lin Gongzi is the champion of the Mountain Sea Beast battles. He is protected by Mountain Sea Palace. Killing him means becoming enemies with Mountain Sea Palace. Does Myriad Transformation Sect want to become enemies with Mountain Sea Palace, or even the entire Shanghai city? Hearing this, Xing Shan's face darkened. Although Myriad Transformation Sect was not afraid of Mountain Sea Palace, he could not represent Myriad Transformation Sect. Moreover, Myriad Transformation Sect would not become enemies with Mountain Sea Palace. After all, offending the Beast Tamer family was not good for them. Therefore, Xing Shan did not say anything. He was clenching his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Dugu Ju's face turned cold as well. Jianwuk, Lin Xian, I will remember you too. This matter is not over yet. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Of course, it's not over yet. Do you think this is over? I will not forgive you for what you have done in the past. This time, I'm just teaching you a lesson. One day, I'll descend upon you again. At that time, all of you will have to submit to me. Lin Xian and the others' figures gradually faded and disappeared from Moonlight City. Although Lin Xian had left, news of what had happened spread like wildfire. Everyone in the northern region knew about it. Countless people were shocked. How terrifying would such a top genius be when he grew up? They did not dare to imagine. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others left Moonlight City and returned to Xintian Pavilion. When they arrived, they finally heaved a sigh of relief. They had been on tenterhooks along the way, but now everything was fine. Good job, kid. Elder Jingguang walked over. They already knew what had happened before, and it was really satisfying. Jianwuk was surprised as well. He had not expected Lin Xian to be able to stir up such a huge storm all by himself. The 6 great grotto heavens had suffered such a huge loss. Lin Xian said, "This was all thanks to old Xiao." The people of Xintian Pavilion naturally welcomed Xiao Mu. He was the patriarch of the Xiao clan, and they needed to refine a batch of demonic beasts. Therefore, the two sides talked for a long time. As for Lu Yuan and the others, Lin Xian personally found Jian Wushuang and explained his thoughts. After this, Lin Xian might have to travel around. As for Hong Yi, Lu Yuan, and the others, he planned to let them stay here. After all, these people were treated as battle servants and didn't cultivate properly. Now, it was time for them to start cultivating normally. Jianwuk naturally agreed with this point as well. These people were all top-notch geniuses. If they could join the Xintian Pavilion, it would make the Xintian Pavilion even stronger. Just like that, this matter was settled. Lin Xian was not in a hurry to leave. He stayed in the Xintian Pavilion for 2 months. During this time, he learned some things about the Xintian Pavilion, especially when he learned that when he left the Xintian Pavilion, the experts of the 6 Great Grotto Heavens sect came looking for him. They even stayed here for a long time. Lin Xian was shocked. This was really too dangerous. He couldn't let his guard down. The people of the 6 Great Grotto Heavens sect would definitely come looking for him again. 2 months later, when Lin Xian was about to leave, Fu Hongya, Lu Yuan, Shangguan Shaoxian, and the others walked up to him and said, "Junior Marshal Uncle, we'll cultivate here for now. We'll meet up with you when we return." Li Hongxiu also walked over and said, "Thank you so much for this time." Lin Xian smiled. "Why are you being so polite with me?" He then looked at Hong Yi and the others. "All right, I will be more careful then." He said goodbye to them, then to Jianwuk, Elder Jingguang, and the others. He, Xiao Mu, and Gu Yu took the teleportation array and left. This time, they returned to Shanghai City. The people of the Xiao clan were very happy. The clan leader had finally returned safely. They were afraid that Xiao Mu would be gone for another 5,000 years. When Xiao Shiyu received the news, she rushed back from the Shanghai Palace. When she looked at Lin Xian, her eyes turned red. "You rascal, I really thought you wouldn't come back," Lin Xian said. "I promised you that I would come back." After that, Lin Xian stayed in the Xiao clan for a while. Then, he went to the Shanghai Palace. Elder Ruochen of the Shanghai Palace was naturally happy. When he had nothing to do, he would spar with Lin Xian. Lin Xian was also very enlightened. However, on this day, Elder Ruocheng's brows were tightly knitted together. He found Lin Xian and said, "Little rascal, I'm afraid you are in trouble." Lin Xian said, "What trouble?" Elder Ruochen said, We have received news that the people of the Sixth Tao sect are looking for you. They are already rushing towards Shanghai City. Lin Xian frowned. It was the Sixth Tao sect again. Damn it, it must have been those people from Misty Peak who told the Sixth Tao sect about him. These people are really courting death. Elder Ruochen said, "What grudge do you have between you two? If it isn't a life and death grudge, the Shanghai Palace can help you resolve it." Lin Xian said, "Thank you, Senior, but I'm afraid it can't be resolved." The other party wanted his eyes. How could he agree to it? This was a grudge that couldn't be resolved. Lin Xian took a deep breath. "Thank you, Senior, and the Shanghai Palace. I am very grateful. However, I can't stay here any longer. I don't want to bring trouble to the Shanghai Palace." Okay, Elder Ruochen nodded. Since it couldn't be resolved, he didn't want Lin Xian to face the Sixth Tao sect. After all, it was an extremely terrifying sect. Legend had it that it was related to the 6 paths of reincarnation. Lin Xian prepared to leave. Xiao Shiyu ran over after hearing the news. Her eyes were red again. "Are you leaving now?" Lin Xian said, "Things are urgent. I have to leave. You should cultivate well here. I'll come back to see you when I have time." Xiao Shiyu nodded and asked, "Where do you plan to go next?" Lin Xian hesitated. To be honest, he didn't know where to go next. Elder Ruochen walked over and said, "Lin Gongzi is a young genius. I think he should be walking the path of the great emperor. And it seems like he wants to fight with more geniuses. I have a place to recommend you." "Senior, where is it?" Lin Xian was interested. Elder Ruochen smiled. "Taiching Ancient City." "Taiching Ancient City. What is that place? Is it an ancient city?" Elder Ruochen nodded. "That's right. You told me that you have been to Qingkuan Ancient City. Taiching Ancient City is an ancient city like Qingkuan Ancient City. Taiching Ancient City is even more terrifying. There are more geniuses there. Countless geniuses who want to walk the path of the great emperor. You won't be disappointed if you go there." "Really?" Lin Xian was even happier. "I wonder if Senior has a map to Taiching Ancient City?" Chapter 46-23. It seems like you've made up your mind to go. A map? Yes, but there's a simpler way. Come with us. We're planning to head to Taiching Ancient City in 3 days. Senior, are you going too? Lin Xian was surprised. Elder Ruochen smiled. Our Shanghai Palace has some matters regarding the beasts that need to be dealt with. So, I'm going there with a few elders. I want to go too. Xiao Shiyu stood up, but Elder Yin Luo said, "Disciple, you should stay here and cultivate in peace. Your seal of life and death is at the most crucial moment. You can't give up halfway." Not everyone was like Lin Xian, who had a heaven-defying eye technique and could quickly master a secret technique like the seal of life and death. Even a top genius like Xiao Shiyu would need a long time to master it. "All right." Xiao Shiyu sighed helplessly. She looked at Lin Xian again and said, "You must remember to come back and see me again." Lin Xian smiled. "Don't worry." Next, he started to prepare. He would leave with Elder Ruochen in 3 days. On the other side, Sixth Tao sect sent an expert. It was the great Saint Expert. He was filled with killing intent. Damn Xintian Pavilion. How dare they lie to me? He chased them all the way to Xintian Pavilion and found nothing unusual. Then, he went to Shanghai Palace. This time, he had to capture the other party. On the side of Shanghai City, Elder Ruochen and the others were also ready to leave. They rode on a lightning sparrow surrounded by lightning. Spreading its wings, it tore through the void and disappeared. Her speed was very fast, and she left Shanghai City in an instant. Not long after they left, a figure descended. The terrifying aura of a great saint came from all directions. He didn't hide it at all. Countless people in the city felt their scalps go numb. This aura was too strong. The beasts roared continuously. They couldn't withstand this power at all. "Where is Lin Xian?" A cold voice sounded. The people in Shanghai City were stunned. This person was actually looking for Lin Xian? Xiao Clan. Xiaomu's face turned cold when he heard about this. Were the experts of the Misty Peak here? Fortunately, he had learned that Lin Xian and the Mountain Sea Palace's elder Ruochen had left, so he managed to avoid a calamity. Xiao Shiyu and the other elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were equally shocked. Go and find out who this person is. When they learned that it was people from the Sixth Tao sect, they secretly exclaimed that it was a close call. The eyes of the people of the Green Clan turned red. This was great. This was a good opportunity. They could secretly pass it on to that great saint. Senior, that Lin Xian is no longer in the Mountain Sea Palace. The people of the Mountain Sea Palace set off for Taiching Ancient City. Not long after he left, the great sage snorted coldly, then flew up into the air and left. Everyone assumed that he had given up. However, the people of the Green Clan sneered. Being targeted by a great saint, they would like to see how that brat would die this time. They couldn't accept the fact that the other party had killed their number one genius. It would be great if he could borrow the great sage's hand to finish off his opponent. Lightning streaked across the sky, covering thousands of miles. The lightning sparrow was extremely fast. There were several palaces on its back. Lin Xian, Elder Ruochun, and the others were there. Lin Xian stood beside Qian Feng. Feeling the aura around him, he sighed. The methods of beast tamers were really too powerful. Elder Ruochun's lightning sparrow was a peak Saint King demonic beast. Its speed was shocking. Even so, it would take a long time to get to Taiching Ancient City. One could imagine how vast the buried Emperor Star was. And this was the profound sky continent. The other continents were also extremely terrifying. He wondered what kind of experts were in Taiching Ancient City. He wondered how Qingqing and Qiu'er were doing. This time, he had saved most of his fellow disciples from Peerless City and his friends. However, there was no news of Murong Qingqing and Shen Jingqiu. However, with their talent and background, there shouldn't be much of a problem. Their situation should be better than his. 5 days later, Elder Ruochun said that there was still half a month before they arrived. Why don't we spar? Lin Xian's interest was piqued. Elder Ruochun was very strong. He was even stronger than Xiao Mu. With such a person's guidance, Yi Xian's eye technique and soul power would improve quickly. The other elders also smiled. They were very satisfied with Lin Xian's talent. Such a person's future was limitless. However, at this moment, Elder Ruochun suddenly stopped and turned his head to look into the distance. Even Lin Xian had a solemn expression on his face. What's wrong? The other elders and disciples asked. Lin Xian said that there was a powerful aura coming towards them. Elder Ruochun nodded. That's right. It seemed to be a great saint. The other elders and disciples of Mountain Sea Palace were shocked. Not long after, the elders also sensed it. Their faces turned ugly. It shouldn't be coming for us. Perhaps it was just a great saint passing by. They didn't care. Lin Xian's brows were tightly knitted together as a cold glint flickered in his eyes. Was it really just passing by? He glanced at Elder Ruochun. Elder Ruochun nodded and changed direction. The lightning sparrow spun and changed its direction, flying towards another direction. A day later, Elder Ruochun stood up with a solemn expression. It's coming for us. Indeed, they had changed direction this time. If the other party was just passing by, then their aura should have disappeared. However, they sensed the other party's aura again. It was getting closer and closer. This was definitely not a coincidence. The others of Mountain Sea Palace said, "We don't have any powerful enemies. It's impossible for us to send a great saint." Lin Xian said that if it's not coming for you, then it's coming for me. When these words came out, the others were shocked. Was it coming for Lin Xian? Could it be? They all looked at Elder Ruochun. Elder Ruochun nodded. It should be someone from Sixth Tao sect. Someone from Sixth Tao sect. The other elders were shocked. The Sixth Tao sect was very far away from their Shanghai city, yet they had sent a great saint to capture Lin Xian. Why did they do this? What did Lin Xian have that the people of Sixth Tao sect would spend so much effort to capture him? It increased its speed. Elder Ruochun formed a seal. Lightning danced on the lightning sparrow's body, and it suddenly increased its speed. Behind it, the great saint of Sixth Tao sect snorted. Since we found you, don't even think about escaping. He also used a divine ability, and his strength and speed suddenly erupted. Although the lightning sparrow was a lightning-type demonic beast and had an advantage, it was still a great saint chasing after it. Its speed was even faster. Therefore, the distance between the two sides was getting closer and closer. Everyone felt the aura of a great saint above them, and it would fall at any time. What should they do? Elder. They all looked at Elder Ruochan. Chapter 46:24. Elder Ruochan's expression was equally cold. Lin Xian stood up and said, "Let's split up. He's coming for me, so I won't implicate you." What do you mean by that? Am I someone who's afraid of being implicated? Elder Ruochan said, "Sit down obediently. I'm here." Lin Xian said, "Senior, I know you're good to me, but this is a great sage. I can't harm you. If you leave alone, you'll definitely die. If we stay together, we still have a chance. My Mountain Sea Palace isn't weak either. So what if he's a great sage? The sect lord of the Mountain Sea Palace can control great sage-level demon beasts. I don't believe he dares to act rashly. Indeed, for the Mountain Sea Palace to be able to dominate a region, they definitely weren't weak. Moreover, they had connections with many top sections. No matter how strong the Sixth Dao sect was, they couldn't attack directly. Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He was already accumulating strength in secret. He gathered all the resources he had obtained in the past and placed them in a few storage rings. If the situation wasn't good, he would use these resources to awaken the great dragon sword soul and unleash a shocking attack. If it really didn't work, he would enter the Great Sage Tower and let Elder Ruochan and the others use it to escape. The Sixth Dao sect had sent great sages to hunt him down twice. He definitely wouldn't let him go. Elder Ruochan frowned. Only a few people knew about our arrival. How did he catch up? It seemed like someone in Shanghai City had secretly sent information to him. Don't let me find out who it is. Elder Ruochan's eyes were filled with killing intent. The person in front, stop right there. Or don't blame me for being impolite. At this moment, he heard a thunderous roar. Countless great daos intertwined in the sky, forming sword lights that descended. The terrifying aura caused the lightning sparrow to tremble. Elder Ruochan snorted and formed a seal. The lightning sparrow's eyes lit up, and it quickly dodged. At the same time, he shouted, "Who dares to attack the Mountain Sea Palace? Are you tired of living? I'm from the Sixth Dao sect. I'm here to capture a young man. I don't want to be enemies with the Mountain Sea Palace. Leave him there, and I'll let you leave safely." What if I refuse? Elder Ruochan said. The great sage behind him snorted. If you resist, don't blame me for being impolite. The Mountain Sea Palace would kill them all the same. The Sixth Dao sect is so arrogant. Are they really not afraid of the Mountain Sea Palace bringing tens of thousands of demon beasts to attack them? As he spoke, Elder Ruochan took out another monstrous beast from his monstrous beast sack. It was a plant. The leaves on it were like mirrors. It was very magical. He said everyone should drop a drop of blood on it. Everyone cut their fingers and dripped a drop of blood onto the mirror. Then, the mirror shone brightly. The plants spread in all directions, forming illusions just like Lin Xian and the others. Then, Elder Ruochan controlled the lightning sparrow to change its direction, leaving behind the illusion from before. Not long after, the great sage descended and said coldly, "Die." He struck out with his palm, bringing with it a destructive aura. The surrounding void shattered endlessly, and the illusion was also torn apart. A few drops of blood dripped down from it. When the illusion disappeared, the Sixth Dao sect's great sage was instantly enraged. Courting death, you actually dare to use such trifling tricks in front of me? You don't know the difference between life and death. He increased his speed. He should be able to buy some time. On the other side, Elder Ruochan said. However, as soon as he finished speaking, his expression changed because he discovered that the person behind him had caught up again. Damn it, was I discovered so quickly? As expected of a great sage. Quickly, he continued to control the lightning sparrow. The lightning on the lightning sparrow's body burned, and it moved even faster. However, at this moment, a golden fist came from behind. It was incomparably powerful. Not good. Everyone's eyes turned red. they would undoubtedly die. At this moment, Lin Xian snorted coldly. He took out a willow branch from his storage ring and charged toward the sky. The willow branch emitted tens of thousands of rays of light and continued to grow. It turned into the illusion of a willow tree and blocked the shocking fist. There was a loud boom. The willow branch split in half from the middle, and the fist also slowly disappeared. "Run!" Elder Ruachin roared and formed hand seals with all his might. The lightning sparrow's bloodline was burning, and its lifespan was rapidly decreasing. His speed was extremely fast. The people of the mountain sea palace above were all stunned. It was too dangerous. That attack just now would have killed them without a doubt, but he blocked it. What was Lin Xian holding? Elder Ruachin said, "This should be a life-saving measure given to you by the Shao clan, right?" Lin Xian nodded and took back the two halves of the willow branch. Although it was broken, there was still some aura on it. He could still use it in the future. However, it would be difficult to block another attack from a great sage. One had to admit that a great sage was really too powerful. Even if Lin Xian had the Great Sage Tower now, the Great Sage Tower might not be able to block the attack of a great sage. He would probably be injured if he stayed inside. At this moment, the lightning sparrow under his feet wailed and turned into white bones. Its bloodline and life force had been completely burned away. Elder Ruachin took out another beast and continued to fly. He also burned his bloodline. After 3 times, their expressions became incomparably ugly. There were not many peak-level beasts left in their hands. However, the great sage's power was endless. It was not something they could compare to. Were they really going to be caught today? Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He looked around, trying to think of a way. Elder Ruachin exclaimed, "This is..." He felt an unusual aura in the distance. "Let's go over and take a look." He flew quickly in that direction. In the mountains, thousands of beasts were prostrating, and there was an unusually terrifying aura in the surroundings. It caused the demonic aura in the mountains to flee quickly. This mountain range was also extremely unusual. If one looked at it from above, they would realize that it was a coiled dragon. It had a terrifying dragon vein. Where the dragon head was, there was a huge mountain that was 10,000 feet tall. At this moment, there were 4 peaks around this mountain that looked like the claws of a dragon. There was a figure standing on top of each mountain peak. These figures were extremely terrifying, especially the middle-aged man standing at the front. His aura was extremely strong. Although it was hidden, once it erupted, it would definitely be like a volcano that would sweep the 9 heavens. His eyes were fixed on the mountain in front of him with anticipation. Next to him, on the mountain peak, an old man said. He did not know if he would succeed this time. Ordinary people would have broken through several times, but Wu Dao was a sage body. The power he needed far exceeded that of a sage of the same level. It had even reached an unbelievable level. Once he broke through, the power he displayed was also unparalleled. If he broke through again, there would not be many in the same level who could compete with him, unless it was an extremely powerful legendary or ancient physique. It had begun. The middle-aged man in front of him shouted. The other figures did not speak. They were watching nervously. Chapter 46:25. The sky darkened in an instant as countless bolts of lightning descended. A bolt of lightning transformed into a giant sword that tore through heaven and earth, shattering the mountain before it. There was a figure inside. The figure shone with a terrifying purple light as he roared and punched the sky. The lightning struck and tore a crack in the tribulation. One could only imagine how powerful this person's body was. The lightning in the sky was even more terrifying. After the first bolt, countless bolts of lightning rained down. Some bolts of lightning even intertwined to form a dragon that swept through heaven and earth. The purple figure below fought back with his powerful physique. Not only was he transcending the tribulation, but he was also tempering himself. If anyone else saw this scene, they would be scared silly. This kind of body was definitely at the top of the world. Yi Dao Dinier's black hair danced wildly as his purple aura swept through heaven and earth. He was like a supreme god, possessing the power to split heaven and earth apart. He grew stronger and stronger, like a celestial emperor descending. In the end, the purple light around him turned into a purple figure. He was like a god descending from the heavens, sweeping through the world. In the distance, the old men rejoiced. The middle-aged man in front of them also clenched his fists. This breakthrough was a small matter. The most important thing was the Celestial Emperor Scripture. The Celestial Emperor Scripture was the supreme technique of the Yi clan, the inheritance of the great emperor. It was extremely difficult to cultivate, and one had to be at least a great sage to use it. Now, Yi Dao Denier was qualified to comprehend the Celestial Emperor Scripture. As for whether he could succeed and reach the first layer of the Celestial Emperor Scripture, that would depend on himself. The lightning in front of them was terrifying. Ruochen, Lin Xian, and the others fled quickly, constantly changing directions. Suddenly, they saw 10,000 bolts of lightning descending as if the end of the world was coming. Someone was transcending a tribulation. They quickly flew in that direction. If a great sage's lightning appeared, it would be very deadly. They wanted to use the tribulation to scare the other party away. Behind them, the great sage of the Sixth Dao sect roared when he saw this. He increased his speed, and at the same time, used a terrifying divine ability. Terrifying fists appeared in all directions, forming a hexagonal barrier that enveloped Lin Xian and the others. It wanted to seal them. Not good. Lin Xian and the others were terrified. In the next moment, it was completely sealed. Damn it, they were already very close to the lightning in front of them, but they couldn't get any closer. Even if they risked their lives, they still wouldn't be able to open the seal. The expert from the Sixth Dao sect descended from the sky. He stepped across the land and coldly said, "Where are you going to run now?" The Mountain Sea Palace's elders were terrified. The younger disciples almost fainted from fright. Even Elder Ruochen's face was ice-cold. "Are you really going to attack the Mountain Sea Palace? Don't worry, for the sake of your Mountain Sea Palace, I'll spare your lives this time. But I have to take this kid with me." His gaze was fixed on Lin Xian. Suddenly, Lin Xian felt all the blood and qi in his body freeze. This was a great sage. One look was enough to make him unable to move. "No," said Elder Ruochen. "He's also a member of our Mountain Sea Palace. If you touch him, you'll be touching our Mountain Sea Palace. You can't represent the Mountain Sea Temple." Also, the sect master of the Sixth Dao sect personally asked for this item. "Today, even if your sect master is here, I'll take him with me." The great sage of the Sixth Dao sect coldly spoke, and then a hand reached out. Elder Ruochen and the others roared crazily. However, under the aura of a great sage, they couldn't move at all. They were completely suppressed. "It's over. Is Lin Xian really going to die?" Elder Ruochen and the others despaired. If such a top genius were to fall, it would be a huge loss. Lin Xian felt the palm pressing down on him. Cracks appeared on his body. No matter how strong the nine-yang divine body was, he was only an early-stage holy king. The difference in cultivation level between them was too great. He wasn't a match for this great sage, but it was impossible for him to capture him. He wouldn't just sit there and wait for death. With a roar, Lin Xian circulated the dragon race's breathing technique to block it. Lin Xian felt that he could move. He took out his great dragon sword soul and a dragon-shaped sword image appeared. At the same time, his 3 storage rings split open and endless energy poured into the dragon-shaped sword image. The sword swept across. It completely destroyed the great sage's aura. At the same time, the huge barrier beside him was also split open by the sword. Lin Xian's figure flashed and appeared outside the barrier, dodging the attack. Did he dodge it? Elder Luocheng and the others were stunned. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to escape from the great sage. The great sage of the Sixth Dao sect was also stunned. Then, he sneered. "As expected of the person who obtained the inheritance, to be able to block my aura, you do have some skills. You can be considered the top of the younger generation. However, your path ends here." His palm became even more terrifying. It pressed down from the sky, and all kinds of heaven and earth phenomena appeared on his palm. Endless great Dao surrounded him. This attack was impossible for anyone below the great sage realm to block. Lin Xian roared. He held the great dragon sword soul with both hands and slashed forward. The sound of a dragon echoed between heaven and earth, shaking everything. The terrifying sword chi made Elder Ruachin and the others' hair stand on end. What kind of sword is this? It's too shocking. Is this really something that a young man can use? Why does it seem like the attack of a great sage? When the dragon-shaped sword shadow and the golden palm collided, the two exploded with a destructive aura. Endless great Tao swept out. Elder Ruachin and the others were sent flying while vomiting blood. At this moment, there was nothing that could block it. The aura spread out and the surrounding mountains shattered. The figures in front suddenly turned their heads. Is someone attacking? No, someone is fighting. This power belongs to a great sage. We can't let it affect Wu Dao's breakthrough. Their expressions changed instantly. The middle-aged man stepped forward and tore through the void. The next moment, he arrived nearby. The great sage of the Sixth Tao sect roared, "Die!" He couldn't imagine that the other party could block his attack. Lin Xian's face was pale. This attack had consumed a lot of energy to fight against a great sage. However, he wouldn't admit defeat. Another 3 storage rings flew out. Lin Xian was ready to use the power inside. However, at this moment, a cold shout came from above. Scram! Following that, a purple fist turned into a meteor. It flew out. An earth-shattering sound erupted. Oh no, this is also the power of a great sage. Lin Xian took out the great sage pagoda and used the void escape. He arrived beside Elder Ruachin and the others and brought them into the great sage pagoda. Then, the great sage pagoda was sent flying. Lin Xian and the others' blood boiled inside. What happened? Those elders were all stupefied. Chapter 46-26. Elder Chang said that another great sage had arrived. The storm lasted for a long time before it slowly disappeared. When Lin Xian and the others came out, they gasped when they saw the destruction around them. Was this the attack of a great sage? At this moment, wherever he looked, there was not a single place that was intact. Amidst the chaos that filled the sky, there were only 2 figures standing there. One of them had a golden glow around him. It was the great sage of the Sixth Tao sect. The other person was surrounded by a purple aura. He was like a supreme god. The lightning behind him covered the mountain range and was indeed intact. It was obvious that he was protecting the person going through the tribulation. The great sage of the Sixth Tao sect was pale. The other party had actually blocked his attack. Moreover, the other party's physique and strength were even stronger than his. He felt like his entire palm was about to split open. Who are you? How dare you interfere in the matters of the Sixth Tao sect? The purple figure said coldly. Ancient clan, Yi family. The great sage of the Sixth Tao sect narrowed his eyes. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace also felt their eyelids twitch. Someone from the ancient clan. They were stunned. The Yi family? A great emperor clan? Lin Xian was too shocked. He hadn't expected to meet someone from the Yi family here. Thinking about it, he hadn't seen Yi Wu Dao in a long time. The great sage of the Sixth Tao sect clenched his teeth. Is the Yi family going to interfere in this matter? I don't care what you're here for. Wu Dao is undergoing his tribulation. Anyone who dares to disturb him is my enemy. The great sage of the Sixth Tao sect smiled. So it's a genius from the Yi family. Don't worry, I definitely won't disturb him. The one I want to suppress is this kid. Capture him, and I'll leave immediately. After saying that, he stared at Lin Xian. Elder Ruachin and the others felt their scalps go numb as they looked at the purple figure. We're from the Mountain Sea Palace. They hoped that this expert from the Yi family could stop the people from the Sixth Tao sect. However, the purple figure just stood there, unmoved. In the eyes of a great sage, everyone below the great sage level was an ant. Thus, no matter how respectable the Mountain Sea Palace was, they couldn't enter his eyes. Elder Luochin and the others felt despair. The difference between them and the other party was too great. Not only was the other party a great saint, but more importantly, the other party was a clan of the ancients and a great emperor clan at that. It was useless. No one could save him today. The Six Dao sect's great sage laughed coldly and reached for Lin Xian. Lin Xian suddenly spoke up. Wu Dao, are you the one undergoing the tribulation? I'm Lin Xian. His voice was loud and clear, like a sudden clap of thunder that spread into the distance. The purple figure roared angrily. You dare to disturb Wu Dao's tribulation? He stared at Lin Xian with a cold, killing intent in his eyes. However, at that moment, a voice came from the thunder ahead. Elder, he is my friend. Friends? The purple figure was stunned. The Six Dao sect's great sage was stunned, and the Mountain Sea Palace's people were stunned. Elder Ruochen didn't dare to believe that Lin Xian knew someone from a great emperor clan. This was too inconceivable. The expression of the Six Dao sect's great sage changed. Not good. He instantly attacked. It seemed like he wanted to suppress Lin Xian before anyone could react and take him away. A purple finger severed heaven and earth, blocking the other party's hand. You can't take him away. The purple figure attacked. What was the meaning of this? Didn't you say you didn't care? The Six Dao sect's great sage clenched his teeth. Previously, it didn't matter because it had nothing to do with him. But now that Wu Dao has spoken, he is a guest of the Yi family. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you. Damn it. Fine. Yi family, I'll give you face today. Then he stared at Lin Xian. Kid, don't think that the ancients can protect you forever. With that, he tore open the void and disappeared. The Mountain Sea Palace's elder and the others let out a sigh of relief. He was finally gone. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. This was too dangerous. If he hadn't met Yi Wu Dao and the Yi family's people, he would have had to use all his strength to escape. You're Lin Xian? Lin Xian from planet Xiwan? The purple figure looked at Lin Xian. His gaze was piercingly cold, but there was no killing intent. Lin Xian nodded. Greetings, senior. I didn't mean to come here, and I didn't expect to meet Wu Dao here. Back then, the Central Emperor lived up to his reputation. He could actually block a great sage's attack as an early-stage sage king. You're not bad. The purple figure nodded. Then he said, Follow me. Lin Xian followed by Elder Ruochen and the others. They arrived at a mountain peak. When they landed, they felt the terrifying lightning in front of them. Elder Ruochen and the others were shocked. What kind of lightning tribulation was this? The genius undergoing the tribulation must be extremely powerful. Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't know how strong Wu Dao was now. Next, he waited patiently. A month later, the lightning tribulation disappeared. The purple light condensed in front of them, and the war god phantom disappeared. Then, a young man walked out. The young man wore a purple robe and had a handsome face. He looked like a young emperor. How was it? Did you break through? The elders of the Yi family walked up. The purple great sage was also looking forward to it. Yi Wu Dao smiled. I didn't disappoint the elders. I've mastered the celestial emperor scripture, Di Chong. That's great. The elders of the Yi family cheered. The purple great sage also smiled. Our Yi family has the hope of producing a second great emperor. He was really happy. Their Yi family was a great emperor family, a clan of the ancients. They had the inheritance of a great emperor, but it wasn't something that anyone could cultivate. Over the years, the Yi family had produced countless geniuses, but those who could cultivate the celestial emperor scripture were few and far between. Once they could cultivate it, their future would be limitless. Especially Yi Wu Dao, who had a sage body. This gave them even more hope. Yi Wu Dao chatted with the elders for a while, then turned to the other side. Brother Lin, long time no see. As he spoke, he threw a punch. The purple fist seemed to have turned into a giant dragon. Elder Ruochen and the others felt their hair stand on end. Yi Wu Dao was only an early sage king, but his strength was terrifying. And from his words, they could tell that he was a sage body of the Yi family. It was a legendary sage body in the universe. Now that he was attacking Lin Xian, who could stop him? Lin Xian also laughed. Wu Dao, long time no see. As he spoke, he also threw a punch. Endless golden flames burned on his palm, as if it had turned into a sun. Their palms collided, and a terrifying aura swept out in all directions. Then, both of them took 3 steps back and laughed. Wu Dao, long time no see. Your cultivation and strength haven't dropped at all. Lin Xian laughed. Yi Wu Dao also said, Brother Lin, your 9-yang divine body isn't any weaker than my sage body. The people of Hilsea Palace were stunned. Lin Xian could actually fight against Yi Wu Dao. It was hard to imagine. Chapter 46-27. Divine Physique. Lin Xian actually had such a powerful physique. It was one of the most powerful physiques in the universe. No wonder Lin Xian was so strong. Even the Yi family was shocked. This was the successor of the 9 sons. He was indeed strong enough to not be at a disadvantage against a saint physique. That's right, what happened before? Why were the great sages of the 6 Dao sect chasing you? Yi Wu Dao asked. Lin Xian said that he took something from a ruin and the 6 Dao sect took a fancy to it. They wanted to take it from me. I naturally wouldn't let them have their way. All right, let's not talk here. Let's go back to the family. An elder walked over with a smile. Lin Xian said, Thank you, senior, but we still have things to do. We have to go to Taiching Ancient City. We won't disturb you. Taiching Ancient City? The great sage nodded. Wu Dao, now that you've cultivated the Heavenly Emperor Scripture, it's time for you to go out. Taiching Ancient City will be your first battle. Yi Wu Dao nodded. It was time for him to make a name for himself. Let's go, Brother Lin. Lin Xian said. Senior, aren't you afraid that the 6 Dao sect will kill you? Don't you need to bring a few elders? The great sage laughed. It's fine. Wu Dao isn't afraid of anyone in the same realm. As for those great sages, let's see who dares to make a move against me. Elder Luo Cheng and the others felt their scalps tingle. Lin Xian was also amazed. As expected of the great emperor family, who would dare to make a move against Yi Wu Dao? That would be making an enemy out of the great emperor family. No one would be so stupid. As expected of a clan of the ancients, their backing was strong. Next, Lin Xian, Yi Wu Dao, Elder Ruochen, and the others left. They once again set off for Taiching Ancient City. Finally, half a month later, they arrived in front of a huge city. The huge city before them was really magnificent. It carried the aura of time, making people feel solemn. After the group went down, they walked into Taiching Ancient City. There were too many experts here. They could be seen everywhere. Moreover, according to Elder Ruochen and the others' introduction, the Taiching Ancient City was extremely vast. Not only were there places where humans gathered, there were also many forests, waterfalls, canyons, and other places where demonic beasts lived. Lin Xian was shocked as well. As expected of Primeval City, Elder Ruochen said, We're going to take care of some things first. Lin Gongzi, are you coming with us? Lin Xian, No, I want to see what's so magical about Grand Clarity City. If Elder Cheng is also here, well said. Let's split up for now. We'll meet again when the time comes. Elder Fallout and the others from the Mountain Sea Palace left. Only Lin Xian and Leaf Dao Denier remained. Leaf Dao Denier said, Where are we going? Lin Xian said that he didn't know and was just looking around. Why don't you follow me to a place first? Leaf Dao Denier smiled. What other purpose do you have for coming here? Lin Xian was surprised. Leaf Dao Denier said, Not really, but since I'm already here, I might as well go and take a look. Lin Xian followed Leaf Dao Denier into the city. He quickly learned that Leaf Dao Denier was also going to a clan of the ancients. The clan of the ancients was an extremely terrifying existence. Not just any clan could obtain this title. Only extremely terrifying clans could. Apart from great emperor clans, even ordinary archaic royal clans couldn't obtain this title. They had to be extremely terrifying among the archaic race and had been passed down for generations. Only then could they obtain the title of Clan of the Ancients. This time, Leaf Dao Denier was going to a clan of the ancients, the Wind Clan. Although the Wind Clan had never produced a great emperor, they were still extremely terrifying. The fact that they could be titled as a clan of the ancients was enough to imagine their strength. Lin Xian guessed that the clan of the ancients was far more powerful than Misty Peak and Profound Sky Pavilion. Even the 6 Dao sect would have to retreat to some extent. There were several clans of the ancients in Taiching Ancient City. In addition, there were many terrifying sects and factions. As expected of Taiching Ancient City, the Wind Clan was located on the west side of Taiching Ancient City. It was easy to find information about them because they were too famous. Lin Xian followed Leaf Dao Denier and the other guard. Finally, they saw it. A majestic mountain was floating in the air like a divine island. There were countless pavilions and palaces on it. Stop. This is the Wind Clan. Not just anyone can enter. You two should leave quickly. Seeing the two young men flying towards the Wind Clan, four figures flew out of the divine island and shouted coldly. Leaf Dao Denier stopped and said, "This time, I'm here to see the Wind Clan's patriarch." You? The four guards laughed. What kind of status did their patriarch have? How could they see him just because they wanted to? Leaf Dao Denier said, "Tell her that I'm from the Yi clan of the ancients. My name is Leaf Dao Denier." It was the Yi clan. The guards' expressions changed. One of them said, "So it's young Master Yi. Please forgive us for our rudeness. We'll inform the young master." They hurried in. Not long after, several figures flew out. They were obviously the geniuses of the Wind Clan. After they landed, they looked at Leaf Dao Denier. It was young Master Dao Denier. Please. The identities of these people were not ordinary, especially the woman leading the group. She was called Wind Phoenix. She was the top genius of the younger generation of the Wind Clan. For her to personally come out to greet them, one could imagine how much importance the Wind Clan attached to them. Dao Denier, the last time I went to your Yi clan, you weren't there, so I didn't see you. Now that I see you, you're even stronger than the legends say. Your sacred body is already making me feel pressure. Wind Phoenix said with a smile. Yi Wudao spoke. Princess Feng Huang was very polite. Your wind god bloodline is also extraordinary. Please. The people of the Wind Clan invited Leaf Dao Denier and Lin Xian in. They had already received the news and were preparing a banquet to welcome Leaf Dao Denier. They couldn't help it. Leaf Dao Denier wasn't a disciple of an ordinary clan. He had the sacred body of the ancients. He was the successor of a clan. They naturally treated him well. The Wind Clan's patriarch was a woman. She wore a green robe and had an extremely terrifying aura. Lin Xian could sense that she had reached the Great Saint realm. He wondered how many great saints there were in the Wind Clan. Lin Xian was very curious. After greeting Senior Wind, Leaf Dao Denier looked at the woman in front of him and bowed respectfully. The Wind Clan's patriarch smiled. Calling me Senior is too polite, isn't it? If you don't mind, you can call me Aunt Wind. The people of the Wind Clan were shocked. What kind of seniority did their patriarch have? She actually valued Leaf Dao Denier so much. It was really beyond their expectations. It seemed that they had still underestimated him. The Wind Clan's patriarch personally came down and pulled Leaf Dao Denier over. Come to my side. I want to have a good chat with you. Leaf Dao Denier glanced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. Don't worry about me. Yi Dao Denier smiled. Then, he followed the patriarch to the front of the hall. Lin Xian was invited to the side by other experts. How should I address this young master? Are you Dao Denier's younger brother? Many disciples of the Wind Clan came over. One of the women said with a smile. This woman was called Moonbreeze. She stared at Lin Xian with a smile. Chapter 46-28. Lin Xian said, I think you guys are mistaken. I'm not Yi Wudao's brother. I'm just his friend. Friend? Are you not from the Yi clan? The Moonbreeze couple were surprised, and the others were also curious. Lin Xian said, No. Then which clan are you from? In their opinion, anyone who could become friends with Yi Wudao must be from a clan of the ancients. I'm not from any clan of the ancients, Lin Xian said again. This time, the surrounding people were stunned. He was not from a clan of the ancients. The Moonbreeze couple was also stunned. Then, the smile in their eyes disappeared and was replaced by a trace of coldness. Although they did not understand how this person became friends with Yi Wudao, if he was not from a clan of the ancients, he was not worthy of their attention. As members of a clan of the ancients, they had endless pride, and others were not qualified to be on equal footing with them. As expected, the surrounding people no longer talked to Lin Xian. Even the Moon Breeze couple turned around and left, as if Lin Xian was invisible. Lin Xian did not care about this sudden change in attitude. He had experienced too much in his life, and he really did not care about this little bit of coldness. Only those who were weak would regard their identity as extremely important. A true powerhouse relied on their own strength, and he was a top-notch genius. Therefore, he did not need any identity to help him. On the other side, the Wind Clan leader looked at Yi Wudao and said with a smile, "You came at the right time. Now, Taiqing Ancient City is in turmoil. With your identity as the sacred body of the ancients, you will definitely be able to make a name for yourself and be respected by the world." Yi Wudao was surprised. What could cause such a change in Taiqing City? He was really curious. The Wind Clan leader sighed. It was the Purple Mansion that had reopened. What? The Purple Mansion? Yi Wudao was stunned and could not believe it. This was an extremely ancient power. Moreover, this title was too unusual. It was said that it was related to immortals. Countless years ago, it had been destroyed by someone. He did not expect it to reappear now. Did someone use the name of Purple? Or did the real Purple Mansion reappear? The Purple Mansion from back then has reappeared. I'm sure you've heard of the legend of the Violet Palace. It was rumored that they were related to immortals. Although it might not be true, the Zifu Palace of the past was incomparably mysterious. They collected everything in the world, and there were many experts among them. Many of the lost skills of the clan of the ancients were in their collection. Leaf Dao Denier was shaken. Although he was still young, he knew a lot about ancient history. After all, the Yi clan had many ancient texts, which Leaf Dao Denier would study whenever he had free time. Among them, he had read about the Purple Mansion. The Purple Palace was at its peak 70,000 years ago. At that time, the Purple Mansion could be said to have overshadowed the clan of the ancients. This was because many experts from the clan of the ancients had joined the Violet Palace realm. For a time, they were incomparably powerful, but in the end, they were still destroyed. As for the reason, it was no longer clear, but there were a few legends. First, it was related to the remote antiquity families. Those clans of the remote antiquity joined forces to attack the Purple Palace. There was another legend about the Heavenly Court. Back then, the Purple Mansion had once attacked the Heavenly Court. The Heavenly Court was furious and fought with the Purple Mansion. In the end, the Purple Mansion was severely injured. After that battle, the Heavenly Court didn't fall. In the end, it was attacked and disappeared. Leaf Dao Denier took a deep breath. What were they planning to do? Did they want to restore the glory of the past? He didn't know. But this time, they were very high profile. They didn't have the slightest intention of hiding. They even invited all the geniuses in the world. He didn't know what they were thinking. Nephew, let me remind you that the Purple Mansion's methods are unfathomable. They were able to obtain the lost skills and secret arts of the clan of the ancients because of those geniuses. If you encounter them, you must be careful. After the banquet ended, Leaf Dao Denier went back to live with Lin Xian in the palace. He wasn't in a hurry to leave. When he returned, he told Lin Xian about the Purple Mansion. Lin Xian was also shocked. It was a bit interesting. We came out to gain experience and increase our strength. We can't miss such an opportunity. I think so too. Leaf Dao Denier smiled. He was also prepared to see what kind of existence this sect that had suppressed the clan of the ancients 70,000 years ago was. However, the Purple Mansion hadn't really opened yet, so the two of them were waiting. Lin Xian thought of something. That was to find heaven-defying spirit herbs. After all, Xia Juyo's lifespan was running out. He walked out of the palace and was about to ask when he saw the Moonbreeze couple. Although the Moonbreeze couple was no longer interested in Lin Xian, he was still with Yi Wudao, so the Moonbreeze couple couldn't afford to be rude. She asked, "Young master, why did you come out at this time?" "I want to ask about the news of the top genius spirit herbs, the kind that can extend one's lifespan." The Moonbreeze couple was shocked. "You need such a thing?" Lin Xian said. "An elder needs it, so I can help you ask about it." The Moonbreeze couple said, "Those that can extend one's lifespan are the most precious. After all, everyone wants to live longer. Such things are very rare. Even if they do, they won't give it to others. However, I know a few places that might have it. One of them is the spirit region. However, that place is very far from here. You won't be able to reach it in a short period of time. Speaking of which, there's one that's closer. It's an ancient ruin. Although it's already in ruins, it was an extremely terrifying existence back then. It's not weaker than our clan of the ancients. Perhaps you might be able to find some lost treasures there. Oh, is that so? Lin Xian was stunned. Then, he asked, Fairy, can you give me some directions? The Moon Breeze couple took out a jade scroll and said, The map is inside. Do you really want to go? That place is very dangerous. If you die, don't blame me for not warning you. Lin Xian took it and scanned it with his soul spirit. He realized that there was indeed a map with markings on it. He nodded and walked out. The Moon Breeze couple looked at Lin Xian's back view and narrowed her eyes. What a reckless guy. Forget it. I've already warned you. I'm not letting Leaf Doudinier down. If this guy dies, it has nothing to do with me. She laughed coldly and turned to leave. After Lin Xian got the map, he started to look at it. Then, he flew in the direction that it was. According to the records, it was indeed an ancient existence. Although the distance on the map wasn't far, Taiching Ancient City was very vast. Lin Xian flew for a long time before he arrived. When he got closer, he felt an unusual aura. Lin Xian realized that there were very few people around. It was obvious that not many people were willing to come here. However, there were still some. These people's auras were very powerful. It seemed that most of them were Saint Kings in the later stages. There were even Saint Kings in the peak stages. There was only one Saint King in the early stages like him. Chapter 46-29. Lin Xian frowned when he arrived. Then, he walked forward. A late-stage Saint King elder nearby sneered when he saw this. He really didn't know what was good for him. In his opinion, Lin Xian's soul would probably be destroyed in an instant. Lin Xian didn't know why the other party said that. He walked forward. There were ruins in front of him. There wasn't a single place that was intact. Even the ground was red. It was blood. Countless years ago, there was a huge battle here. It was an earth-shattering battle. Lin Xian had just arrived at the ruins when suddenly, a broken sword flew out from the ruins and slashed towards him. Although the sword was broken and the remaining parts were filled with cracks, its power was too strong. This sword was able to destroy everything. Lin Xian was shocked. He waved his hand and slapped out. The man-ruler seal slapped the broken sword away. He actually blocked it. Behind him, the elder who was waiting to see a joke was stunned. This guy's strength was far beyond his imagination, because ordinary late-stage Saint Kings couldn't block it at all. Interesting. Kid, who are you? The elder came to Lin Xian's side and asked coldly. Lin Xian saw the other party's cold gaze and knew what he was thinking. He said coldly, Ancient Yi family, is there a problem? The elder's expression changed. So it was the young master of the Yi family. Sorry for disturbing you. Goodbye. Originally, he thought that since Yi Shiwen wasn't famous, he would capture him and see what kind of treasure that secret technique was. It would be best if he could snatch it and cultivate it. But now that the other party said that he was from the Yi family, he didn't dare to make a move. He didn't have the guts to make a move on the Yi family. Wait. Seeing that the other party wanted to leave, Lin Xian shouted coldly. The elder was stunned. Then, he revealed an ugly expression. Young master, what orders do you have? Lin Xian said, What is this place? Why is it so strange? The elder said, This was a ruin. It was said that this was the place where the ancient heavenly court was, but it had completely declined. Even so, this place was still extremely terrifying. A broken sword and a broken saber could split a Saint King in half. Generally, those who were weak would not dare to come here. However, there were still some people who were prepared to hunt for treasures. After all, the heavenly court was a terrifying existence back then. After saying that, he quickly left. Lin Xian was astonished. The heavenly court? Lin Xian took a deep breath and continued forward. Not long after, another broken saber flew toward him. The black broken blade turned into a black qilin, descending from the sky and slashing at him. Lin Xian used the mountain embracing seal and unleashed the primordial demon mountain to contend against it. He blocked the dagger, but his expression was unsightly. He had only taken a few steps, and it was already so terrifying. There must be more dangers ahead. It seemed that he would not be able to go there for the time being. That woman, Feng and you, could not have purposely made him come here, right? What could this place have? Lin Xian snorted and returned to the Wind Tribe. After returning, he found Yi Wudao and asked, "How much do you know about the Heavenly Court?" Yi Wudao was surprised. "Are you talking about the ancient Heavenly Court? Could it be that you went to those ruins?" He was really shocked. "You know that place?" Yi Wudao nodded. He knew, and it was even very famous because the ancient Heavenly Court was really too terrifying back then. Although it was not a clan of the ancients, it was not weaker than any of them. Legend had it that the ancient Heavenly Court had produced a great emperor back then. How did such a terrifying great emperor fall? Lin Xian asked. Yi Wudao said, "That? There are many legends. I think one of them is more reliable, and that is related to the Purple Mansion." Hearing this, Lin Xian was stunned. He had heard about the Purple Mansion before. Wasn't it about to reopen soon? Back then, the Purple Mansion and the Heavenly Court had a battle. After that battle, the Purple Mansion had completely declined. Some people even said that it was destroyed. The Heavenly Court had also suffered heavy losses and declined from then on. After another 20,000 years, which was 50,000 years ago, it was completely destroyed. As for who did it, no one knew. However, some people said that it was definitely related to the Purple Mansion. As expected of the buried Emperor Star, even a power that had produced a great emperor could be destroyed. It was really shocking. At the same time, he was also curious. Could the ancient Heavenly Court be reopened after the Purple Mansion was destroyed? He did not know. Yi Wudao shook his head and sighed. That was something from 50,000 years ago. He asked, "Why are you going to that place?" "You need to find some spirit medicines that can extend your lifespan. I'll help you ask around. However, that place is still too mysterious to go there often." "All right." Lin Xian nodded his head and began to cultivate. He continued to comprehend the Heaven's secret map and waited for news about the Purple Mansion. At the same time, more and more experts arrived in Grand Clarity Ancient City. After all, a top sect from 70,000 years ago had reopened. No one knew what they wanted to do. Most people were curious and wanted to see the legendary Purple Mansion. These people all arrived. Some of them were extremely powerful, causing countless people to cry out in alarm. There was a man who looked like an immortal and had a mysterious aura around him. Some people had attacked him before, but any divine ability that got close to him would dissipate. There was another man who was surrounded by gods and devils. He was even more terrifying. There was another person who had merged with heaven and earth and seemed to be faintly discernible. The appearance of these terrifying figures caused an uproar. Many people guessed their identities. At the same time, a black-robed man walked in. When he arrived in Grand Clarity Ancient City, he took a deep breath. He had finally returned. He wondered how that place was doing. The Wind Race was also inquiring about it. After all, they were very concerned about the experts and geniuses of the world. After hearing this news, they took a deep breath. Finally, on this day, the Wind Phoenix once again brought people over. "Wudao, it's about time." Yi Wudao opened the palace's door and walked out with Lin Xian. The two of them nodded. "Princess, please lead the way." The Wind Phoenix controlled a small divine island and flew over. The Violet Palace was located quite a distance away from them. Using this opportunity, they rested on the divine island once more. A few days later, the divine island stopped. Multicolored light flickered in front of them. The invisible Grand Tao was as mysterious as the stars. Had they arrived? Lin Xian opened his eyes and looked in front of him. He was surprised. What a terrifying aura. At the same time, he found that there were countless figures in addition to them. Some powerful families had also come. Thousands of gazes fell on the front. There were even more geniuses around. A figure was like a cloud, like an immortal descending. After he arrived, he looked around and the corners of his mouth raised into a smile. The people around felt this aura and were shocked. This aura, this was the genius of the Myriad Transformation sect. They had really come. Chapter 46:30. On the other side, flames filled the sky as if they were sweeping through the 9 heavens. A figure descended with golden wings. Countless people exclaimed. It was a genius of the Golden Crow clan. The other person had a holy light around him, as if he was a god. His appearance shocked everyone. He was from the clan of the Ancients, the Sacred Sky clan. On the other side, another person walked over. He was wearing a robe with an alchemy furnace on his back. Countless people were shocked. It was someone from the dancing school. Heavens, how many geniuses had come this time? Exclamations were heard one after another. Suddenly, they looked up at the sky and saw a divine island descending from the sky. It was the Wind Clan's divine island. The Wind Clan had come. Everyone looked over. Someone said that the leader was the Wind Phoenix. She was the top genius of the Wind Clan. The people around her should be the geniuses of the Wind Clan. Who was that person standing beside the Wind Phoenix? He did not have the bloodline of the Wind Clan. Most of the Wind Clan had the bloodline of the Wind Clan. The storm around them was very terrifying. However, there was a man in purple next to her. He was handsome and had a different aura. Although there was no storm around him, he had a heavy power that seemed to be able to crush the heavens. Next to him was a young man in a red robe. He looked calm and had a pair of deep eyes. This person was even more mysterious because they did not feel any aura from him. The top geniuses also came over and stared at the purple-robed figure and the red-robed man. Soon, they stared at the purple-robed figure. One of them said, "I feel a terrifying aura. Could it be that you are from the Yi clan?" The people around were shocked. The Yi clan? The clan of the Ancients, and a great emperor clan. Even among the clan of the Ancients, they were extremely terrifying. Did their descendant also come out? At that moment, another voice was heard. Yes, not only was he from the Yi clan, but he also had the sacred body of the Ancients. Everyone went crazy. The sacred body of the Ancients. The legendary sacred body of the Ancients. Did he come here specifically for the matter of the Violet Palace? Some people were even more shocked. Who was speaking? They only heard the voice and did not see the person at all. The genius of the Golden Crow clan snorted. Who was it? The people from the Holy Heavens race also said, "What a fast speed. Could it be that you are from the Light race?" In the sky, the people of the Wind clan were shocked. Had the people of the Light clan also come? Just like them, Yi Futyin was also a clan of the Ancients. They controlled the power of storms, while Yi Futyin controlled the power of light. Moreover, with the speed of light, it was extremely fast. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes as well. A golden light flickered in his eyes as he caught a glimpse of a blurry figure. It was indeed very fast. His eyes could keep up, but his speed might not be able to keep up. The clan of the Ancients and the Light clan were getting more and more interesting. Coming to Taiching Ancient City was indeed the right choice. If Lin Xian wanted to continue on the path of a great emperor, he would have to clash with countless peerless geniuses. The geniuses of the Taiching Ancient City were enough to temper him. The others were also trying to capture him, their souls probing out. However, only a few of them were able to see him. At this moment, the space between heaven and earth shattered. A ray of light streaked across, forming a man in a golden robe. "It's you, Light." What? He was the Light. This was the descendant of the Light clan. He also had the body of light, the body of the Ancients. The so-called body of the Ancients came from the strongest bloodline of the clan of the Ancients. The body formed by the condensation of the body of the Ancients was enough to shake the starry sky and sweep through the 9 heavens. For example, the sacred body was one of the bodies of the Ancients. The body of light was also the body of the Ancients. Such a body was extremely terrifying. It was enough to sweep through the clan of the Ancients. No one was a match for him. Only other bodies of the Ancients could compete with him. The heavens were really incredible. Now that there were already 2 people with the body of the ancients, would there be any other top geniuses? Countless people were shocked. Lin Xian was also surprised. The body of light? He did feel a terrifying bloodline power from Yi Futian. Yi Futian thought that Yi Futian's strength should be speed. Yi Futian wondered if Yi Futian's speed was Yi Futian's fastest. If it wasn't, then Yi Futian was too terrifying. Yi Wudao and light became the center of attention. The others seemed to have lost their brilliance. Even the phoenix seemed to have dimmed. It couldn't be helped. The body of the ancients could sweep through everything. Of course, it didn't mean that others didn't have a chance. For example, the experts of the Golden Crow race. It was as if a sun had descended. The genius of the sacred heavens race was even more terrifying. There was a terrifying illusion of heaven and earth revolving around him. In addition, there were also people from the Myriad Transformation sect and the Pill Cauldron sect. These people had many trump cards, and their strength was unfathomable. At that instant, a crack was torn open in the mysterious immortal mountain as a few figures flew out from it. It was the people of the Purple Mansion. Countless people quietened down. They looked forward. The leader of the group was a woman dressed in purple. She was extremely beautiful. She looked around and smiled. Thank you for coming here to witness the revival of the Purple Mansion. However, the Purple Mansion has been busy recently, and we can't welcome everyone. Only a few of you can go in to take a look. When the Purple Mansion is fully revived, we will invite the heroes of the world. What did she mean? The crowd was in an uproar. The reason why they came today was because they wanted to experience the legendary Purple Palace realm. Now that they were told that they might not be able to go in, wasn't that ignoring them? Suddenly, some people's faces darkened. Are you looking down on us? None of those who came here were weak. The purple-clothed woman in front of him stopped smiling as she spoke in an indifferent tone. If you want to enter the Purple Mansion, you have to speak with your own strength. I have 8 tokens here. They are the Purple Mansion tokens. Only those who have the Purple Mansion tokens can enter. Those who dare to trespass will be killed without mercy. Countless people were in an uproar. The lady in purple waved her hand, and 8 purple tokens floated in the air. Each token was the size of a palm. They were crystal clear and emitted a mysterious aura. Just this token alone was an incredible treasure. In the sky, the 8 Purple Mansion tokens floated in the air like 8 purple moons. Everyone wanted to enter the Purple Mansion. However, the opportunity was right in front of them, and no one dared to act rashly. Because everyone knew that if they dared to snatch the Purple Mansion tokens at this moment, they would be going against the world. Unless they had an unparalleled ability, they would end up in a miserable state. I will take the first Purple Mansion token. Does anyone have any objections? Guangming walked out and took the Purple Mansion token with a wave of his hand. His voice was heard, and everyone else was silent. Guangming had the ancient desolate body. He was extremely powerful, and his speed was unparalleled. Who would dare to fight against him? Chapter 46:31. The expert from the Golden Crow clan shouted coldly, "Who dares to compete with me? I'll send him to hell." A terrifying aura swept across the land. No one dared to go against such a ferocious expert. After Golden Crow Hao, a few more people made their move. Shang Tiansu from the Holy Heavens clan and Yun Fei from the Myriad Transformation sect. Zhang Chun from the Pill Cauldron sect. Yu Xie from the Serene Cloud sect. These people were all top-notch experts, enough to contend against the world, so their appearance shocked everyone. 6 experts had appeared, and there were only 2 tokens left. Everyone was nervous, but no one dared to act rashly. To get the token, one had to be at least as strong as these 6 people. Who had such confidence? In the sky, on the Divine Island, Feng Huang looked at the scene and smiled. Looks like it's our turn. Brother Wudao, please. She looked at Yi Wudao and then took a step forward. Yi Wudao nodded and walked out as well. At the same time, Lin Xian, who was standing beside him, stepped forward as well. 3 figures strolled in the sky and came to the front. Countless people were in an uproar as they looked up at the sky. It was indeed the Wind Clan. But what was surprising was that 3 people came out. There were still 2 tokens left. How were they going to split them? The others from the Wind clan were also stunned. They looked at Lin Xian and frowned. This kid dared to go out and snatch the tokens? What a joke. Did he think that he could be arrogant just because he came with Yi Wudao? He was really reckless. Feng Huang also frowned. Just now, she was only talking to Yi Wudao. As for Lin Xian, she completely ignored him. She only gave him face because he was brought by Yi Wudao. But now, he stood out. Did he think that he was qualified to be on equal footing with her? Yi Wudao looked calm. He knew Lin Xian's strength. He was definitely not weaker than him. For a moment, countless people looked over. Even the 6 powerhouses in the sky were looking over as well. Many people smiled. They didn't know how to deal with this situation. As a proud daughter of heaven, Wind Phoenix's every action could cause people to go crazy. She looked at Lin Xian and smiled. Lin Gongzi, I didn't expect you to be interested in the Violet Palace realm. However, young master had just arrived at the ancient city, and there were still many places that he hadn't visited yet. Why not go to other places first? How about we come back in 2 days to take a look at this Sifu? These words sounded like they were giving Lin Xian face, but in reality, they were saying that Lin Xian was not qualified. When the others heard this, they would definitely step back obediently. Unfortunately, Lin Xian didn't know how to do it. When Lin Xian heard Feng Huang's words, he laughed. Didn't he still have the token? He could go in today. Why would he have to wait for another time? The surrounding people went crazy. Was this brat stupid? Feng Huang was clearly telling the other party to back off. Could this fellow not tell? Did he really think that he could contend against those people? Wind Phoenix's face sank. She didn't say anything. It was her first time seeing such a reckless person. The 6 people in front were also shocked. They looked at Lin Xian. They also couldn't sense Lin Xian's aura. What qualifications did this person have to be so arrogant? However, he seemed to have some tricks up his sleeve since he could stand beside Wind Phoenix. Jin Wuhao sneered. Who are you? Tell me your name. Let me see if you have the qualifications to stand in front of me. Yi Wudao said loudly. Yi Clan, Yi Wudao. He was Yi Wudao. Countless people were shocked. Everyone looked at Lin Xian. They were curious. Who was this person that could stand beside Yi Wudao and Wind Phoenix? Lin Xian wasn't from a peerless sect or a clan of the ancients. A faint voice sounded. Everyone was going crazy. This person didn't have any amazing background. What qualifications did he have to stand there? Jin Wuhao snorted. So it's just an ant. Who gave you the courage to come here? Get lost. Everyone looked at Lin Xian with a trace of sympathy. Wind Phoenix snorted. She had already given him a way out, but he didn't know what was good for him. Since that was the case, she wouldn't care anymore. Lin Xian looked at Jin Wuhao and said, What? Is this a world where one's family and identity compete? Of course not. However, identity and bloodline were very important. You're just a rogue cultivator. How can you compare to us? Jin Wuhao sneered. For the sake of Yi Wudao and Wind Phoenix, I'll give you a chance to live. Get lost. Lin Xian said. I was going to attack someone and kick him out. Since you don't know what's good for you, then it's you. Hand over the purple mansion token in your hand. I'll give you a chance to live. Ant, you're courting death. Jin Wuhao was furious. Was Lin Xian challenging him? He threw out a punch. This punch was like the birth of the sun. It shook the heavens and the earth. Resplendent light swept across the sky and rushed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian shouted coldly and also threw out a palm, which turned into a sun. It danced between heaven and earth. An earth-shattering power appeared. The expressions of the surrounding people changed, and they quickly retreated. A terrifying flame swept across the land. In the next moment, Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and retracted his palm. On the other hand, Jin Wuhao retreated. The void around him kept shattering. Cracks also appeared on the armor on his body. With one strike, the winner was decided. The surrounding people were stunned. What was going on? The one who was defeated was actually Jin Wuhao. It was too unbelievable. That rogue cultivator was so powerful. Countless people were stunned. They weren't optimistic about Lin Xian before, but the result was completely out of their expectations. Wind Phoenix's pupils constricted as if it was the first time she saw Lin Xian. Who the hell was this person? Only Leaf Doudinier was smiling. Bullying Lin Xian? What a joke. This Jin Wu was simply courting death. Lin Xian looked at him and said indifferently, "Now, do you still think that identity and bloodline can explain everything? As a member of the Jin Wu clan, your bloodline is extraordinary, but so what? You're still vulnerable in front of me. Damn it. I was careless just now. Now, go to hell." Jin Wu Hao was completely enraged. He couldn't accept that the other party could actually force him to retreat. He had to take back his face. The wings on his back flew out and condensed into two golden sabers that he held in his hands. The sabers slashed the sky and split the earth. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a flick of his finger, a terrifying sword chi flew out and turned into a dragon that swept across the 9 heavens. The two collided, and a great battle broke out. The sabers and swords clashed. Jin Wu Hao roared. He had used all his strength to take down the other party, but now he realized that he was too naive. Impossible. The saber in his hand actually cracked. He couldn't believe it. Those were his wings that were condensed. They were the strongest part of his body, but now there were cracks. Chapter 46-32. Damn it. With a roar, his long blade turned into a pair of wings. He charged over, wanting to smash Lin Xian's head. Lin Xian sneered. "You want to compete with me in terms of physique?" He snorted and unleashed his divine body. The human ruler seal struck out with his palm. With a boom, Jin Wu Hao was pushed back. Lin Xian attacked again, using the mountain embracing seal. An ancient mountain pressed down. Jin Wu Hao's wings turned into heavenly blades and tried to block it, but they were still unable to block it. Jin Wu Hao's body fell down. Lin Xian slashed his sword at Jin Wu Hao's palm, splitting it apart. Not only that, the purple mansion token in Jin Wu Hao's hand was also split in half. Jin Wu Hao was actually injured by this sword strike. Countless people were in an uproar, unable to believe it. "I'm going to fight it out with you." Jin Wu Hao was really mad. His blood was about to burn. However, at this moment, another ray of light flew out from the purple mansion branch and stopped in the sky, turning into a token. The leader of the group, the purple-clothed woman, saw this scene and said, "Two gentlemen, stop fighting. Today, the purple mansion will make an exception and give out another token." Everyone was shocked. It seemed that the purple mansion had recognized the strength of these two geniuses. Lin Xian waved his hand and grabbed the token. Then, he turned to look at Jin Wu Hao and sneered. "You were so confident before, but now you're giving me a free sword. Do you still have the face to go in? Damn it." Jin Wu Hao roared, "Kid, just you wait. One day, I'll tear you to pieces." He was gnashing his teeth so hard that they were about to break, but he didn't leave, because he also wanted to know what was so mysterious about the Z government. Lin Xian snorted and shook his head. Jin Wu Hao was no match for him. The surrounding geniuses were shocked. They knew Jin Wu Hao's strength. He was extremely powerful, but he was injured. This Lin Xian was much stronger than they had imagined. Especially Feng Huang. Her beautiful eyes were filled with shock. This was the person she had ignored before. He was actually a threat to her. "All right, everyone, please come in." The purple jade woman led the group forward. She formed a seal with her palms, and the formation in front of them opened. Then, they disappeared. The people outside were waiting curiously, but no one dared to step forward. After entering, everyone could feel a mysterious aura. Was this the Purple Palace? It was too extraordinary. This kind of great Tao was more mysterious than any other place. The purple-clothed woman smiled. "Our purple mansion has 9 immortal mountains. As for whether or not you can obtain the immortal fate, that will depend on your luck." Hearing this, everyone was shocked. Then, they looked around. As expected, there were a few mountain peaks in the surroundings. They were incomparably ethereal. Were these immortal mountains? Purple Mansion Immortal Fate. Could it be that the legends were true? Shangtian Su of the Shangtian clan was also shocked. As a clan of the ancients, they knew more than others. Legend had it that the Violet Palace was related to immortals. There were even rumors that the Violet Palace contained immortal fate. Thinking of this, many people became excited. It seemed that they really came to the right place this time. Everyone, I'll take my leave first. Yunfei chuckled and flew towards one of the mountain peaks like an immortal. The others also flew into the sky. Lin Xian looked at Yu Wudao and nodded slightly. Then, he also flew towards one of the mountain peaks. When the others approached the mountain peak, they could feel a mysterious aura that shrouded them. It was as if they could comprehend the great Tao here and become immortals. Lin Xian naturally felt the aura, but at the same time, he also felt a chill down his spine. It was a shock that came from the depths of his soul. There was something extremely terrifying that could threaten him. On top of the immortal mountain, there was a beautiful figure with her back facing him. She looked like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Lin Xian was stunned. There was someone on top of the mountain. Who was it? Was it someone else? Impossible. Only a few of them had entered, which meant that it was someone from the Purple Mansion. In front, the beautiful figure with her back facing Lin Xian seemed to have sensed someone coming from behind. She also turned her head. She smiled peerlessly. In the next moment, she was stunned. It's you. Lin Xian was also stunned. Xian, why are you here? The beautiful figure in front of him was none other than Qin Xian. However, what surprised Lin Xian was that she was here. Previously, when Lin Xian returned to the 6 great grotto heavens to take away his friends, he also looked for Qin Xian. However, Qin Xian wasn't there at that time. So, he could only leave. He didn't expect to meet her here. Qin Xian waved her hand, and a ray of light brought Lin Xian over. She then smiled. Seems like your strength has increased faster than I thought. You actually came to Taiqing Ancient City so early. Lin Xian said. I didn't expect you to be here. When I returned to the grotto heavens to take away my friends, I didn't see you. Qin Xian asked, Did you save them? Lin Xian nodded. Qin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. That's good. Seeing that Lin Xian was still a little confused, Qin Xian said, I wasn't valued in Qingqiu Grotto Heaven, so I left. By chance, I met a god and brought him here. Brought me here, I arrived a month ago. A month ago, the Purple Mansion hadn't announced it to the world. That meant that the person who brought her here was from the Purple Mansion. He asked, Are the people on the other mountains also from the Purple Mansion? Qin Xian nodded. Like me, they're all young geniuses with different identities and goals. But now, they've all become successors of the Purple Mansion. Each of us is in charge of a mountain. Do you know anything about the Purple Mansion? I heard that it's a supreme existence that was destroyed 70,000 years ago. Qin Xian nodded. She knew a little about it. She also knew that this place was all-encompassing and had countless secret techniques and abilities of the desolate ancient families. Lin Xian, we're all from other worlds. When we came here, my master had already died in order to protect me. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to be suppressed again. So I chose the Purple Mansion. Lin Xian nodded. Everyone had their own choice, so he didn't stop her. The legend of the Purple Mansion was incomparably mysterious. You have to be careful. Come, Lin Gongzi, there's immortal tea here. Qin Xian smiled, then pulled Lin Xian to sit down. Lin Xian didn't stand on ceremony and started to taste the tea. At the same time, on the other mountains, ethereal sounds could be heard, and there was even the sound of a zither. There was no need to think. On the other mountains, there were definitely peerless fairies or peerless emperors. After all, he had heard from Leaf Dao Denier that it was highly likely that these people were trying to get their hands on the legacy and secret magics. He had to admit that this method was really shocking. If he didn't know Lin Xian, he wouldn't have dared to sit here so casually. When night fell, the 9 mountains revolved even more. Lin Xian felt a chill run down his spine. He even saw a black lotus blooming in the middle of the 9 mountains. What was that? Perimetha flower. Chapter 46-33. Lin Xian's pupils constricted as he said to Xian, I'm in danger. Cover me. Qin Xian, and Lin Xian were friends who had gone through life and death together. Hearing this, she waved her hand and the surrounding mist became thicker. Lin Xian walked into the sword world in his body to hide. This mysterious world was enough to fight against anything. Qin Xian was stunned. She didn't know what was going on. She could only wait silently until dawn. When the sun shone down, the black-red spider lily slowly disappeared. Lin Xian walked out of the sword world with a cold face. Why is there a hurricane lily here? You know about it? Qin Xian was also shocked. She said that it was the totem of the Purple Mansion. The totem of the Purple Mansion. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. This was the black lotus that sealed him and wanted his life. Damn it! Could it be that the Purple Mansion was the one that sealed him? Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. No matter what, he had to investigate the Purple Mansion. But now, he couldn't act rashly. The Purple Mansion was even more terrifying than the clan of the ancients. Although it had been destroyed 70,000 years ago, it was definitely well prepared for its rebirth. He wanted power, unlimited power. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Qin Xian asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Lin Xian shook his head and said, "You have to be careful." He couldn't reveal the secret, so he could only remind Qin Xian. Qin Xian nodded and said, "I'll be careful. It's time for you to leave." Lin Xian flew into the air and flew out. At the same time, people from the other celestial mountains also flew out. The purple-clothed woman from before appeared and brought everyone out of the Purple Mansion. Lin Xian's face was cold. The others had different expressions. Some were happy, some were sad. Phoenix was disappointed. It seemed that she didn't want to leave. Yi Wudao frowned. Could it be? Even Lin Xian was surprised. The Phoenix was very arrogant. He wondered what kind of person could make her show such an expression. Even Yunfei, who had always been carefree, seemed to have lost his carefree expression. It looked like the Violet Palace realm was truly terrifying. Outside the Purple Mansion, countless people were still waiting. They were discussing and speculating. Suddenly, the formation in front of them split open, and the people who had entered earlier walked out again. He was out. Many people exclaimed. Even the other members of the clan of the ancients stepped forward. "What do you think?" someone asked. However, the people who went inside and shook their heads. They didn't say anything. Everyone became even more anxious. What exactly was inside? On the Wind Clan side, Feng Yu and the others also quickly arrived and asked, "Sister Wind Phoenix, what exactly is inside?" Phoenix sighed. He didn't say anything. Moon Breeze looked at Yi Wudao and Lin Xian. Lin Xian shrugged, and Leaf Dao Denier remained silent. This made everyone even more curious. "Let's go." Wind Phoenix prepared to leave. At that moment, a figure flew over and stared at Leaf Dao Denier. He had heard of the sacred body of the ancients for a long time. He wanted to see it for himself today. As soon as the voice was heard, countless people were in an uproar. They stopped asking about the Purple Mansion and looked up. Who is challenging Leaf Dao Denier? They saw the figure in the sky shining with light. They were all stunned. Light. Two people with the sacred body of the ancients. Are the sacred body and the light body going to fight? Lin Xian was surprised and frowned slightly. Light speed was terrifying. He was a very powerful enemy. Leaf Dao Denier turned around and swept away the silence from before. He said loudly, "As you wish." The two of them rose into the air and arrived above the 9 heavens. There was a roar. Leaf Dao Denier threw a punch. The fist of light swept across the 9 heavens. This punch could destroy everything. However, he only hit an afterimage. Light's speed was too fast. In an instant, he was behind Leaf Dao Denier. He threw out a palm. A deafening sound came from Leaf Dao Denier's body. He turned around and threw another punch, hitting another afterimage. "It's useless. You can't compare to my speed." Light was like a bolt of lightning. He displayed his extreme speed. Everyone went crazy. They couldn't see him. They couldn't see him. Phoenix was shocked. Sheng Tiansu frowned. Jin Wu Hao and the others looked even more serious. It was obvious that this extreme speed was a great threat to them. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He looked up to the 9 heavens. The entire sky was under his control. He saw a person who was very fast. If he were to compete with him, he would never compete with him in speed. If he couldn't beat him, he would use other methods to kill him. He thought that Leaf Doudinier should be the same. Leaf Doudinier snorted. So what if you're fast? You can't break my defense. The sacred body of the ancients was an extremely famous physique in the starry sky. It was unparalleled in strength and defense. There was no way to hurt Leaf Doudinier without some heaven-defying means. Sure enough, everyone saw Leaf Doudinier standing there, punching in all directions. Every time he punched, a sound came from his body. There were flames dancing. It was Light's attack hitting Leaf Doudinier. Leaf Doudinier's body didn't even shake. One could imagine how terrifying it was. One had extreme speed, and the other had unparalleled physique. Both of them had reached the pinnacle of their respective cultivation levels. Neither could do anything to the other. It seemed that he had to use some means. If one attack couldn't break through, then he would use 10 million attacks. Light took a step forward. An even more terrifying aura appeared on his body. He attacked 10 million times in an instant. It was too fast. It was done in the blink of an eye. Leaf Doudinier also felt that he was going to die. He opened and closed his palms. With a roar, the purple aura on his body bloomed and turned into a god of war. He threw a punch. With a boom, the sky fell and the earth cracked. Hundreds of millions of attacks were scattered. The purple figure roared at the sky. The Jutian Divine King. Countless people were shocked. It was a natural phenomenon that came with the bloodline of the sacred body. Light's face was cold. He didn't attack again. He looked at the Jutian Divine King with flickering eyes. Then he smiled and said, "The sacred body of the ancients lives up to its name. I'll have a taste of it in the future." He turned into a flash of light and disappeared. The others were also amazed. Indeed, at the moment, both sides were evenly matched. There was no need to continue the fight. Leaf Doudinier put away the Jutian Divine King and returned to the Saint Island. Although it was only a short fight, the strength of the two sacred bodies of the ancients was enough to shock countless people. How could they compete with their peers? The seniors in the late stage of the Saint King realm would probably feel numb. Such people were the true geniuses of the world. Jinwu Hao, Shengtian Su, and the others felt a strong threat. However, they weren't afraid. Although they didn't have the sacred body of the ancients, they had infinite confidence in their own strength. I can't help but want to attack. Lin Xin's eyes were also shining. He stared at Jinwu Hao in the distance. Jinwu Hao's face was cold. Damn kid, you still dare to challenge me? Just you wait. I'll make you fall. Jinwu Hao didn't attack again. He didn't want to embarrass himself. He wouldn't act rashly before he figured out the identity of his opponent. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.